400, almost 400 people.
On your live?
Mm-hmm.
Wild. All right.
Absolutely wild.
So we should be good to go on everything.
All right. Oh, I need to get it. Am I looking at YouTube?
No, AJ's gonna
Okay.
doing the AJ thing. For you guys who can see me on TikTok, if you're actually on TikTok, we are going to be going live here now. And then in a little bit, we're going to cut this off and go to YouTube. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, it's YouTube to be better. To be better?
To be better.
Yep. And we're both on there. She's got her shit set up. So
I do.
we're trying to make you choose between us right now. Which live stream do you want to watch? Hers is kind of closer to her. But the winning answer
is the YouTube.
Is the YouTube. I just like that. It feels like a ring announcer. Like we're gonna like walk out boxing and like doing a thing, you know?
Just get it.
So we are live on YouTube. We are doing a different format than we did last week because last week there was a shit ton of interruptions, and there was
Oh yeah, we got. If you guys don't see it, the freaking wires in the way. We got T-shirts, guys. We made T-shirts.
We had a lot of interruptions last week because we were allowing people with super chats 20 and up to come through. I told AJ tonight not to interrupt us unless we have a $50 and up super chat, so we're not constantly being interrupted. And I think what we should do tonight is go ahead and get into the subject because we're talking about the 5 love languages, and tonight we're talking about positive affirmations. We should jump into that. If we get $50 and up super chats, we will interrupt real quick, talk about it, and then go back to the thing. When we're done talking about the love language, we will read all the other super chats and then get into chopping it up, Q&A, just bullshitting until we decide we don't want to do this anymore tonight.
Okay.
Good?
Sounds good.
All right. Any announcements before we get in? Because I have one.
Not that I can think of.
We created a reaction channel. So for those of you who want to see our lives, it's not just emails and nonsense that we're doing back and forth. We have a To Be Better Reacts. We're going to do basic reaction videos, life videos, maybe some vlogs. Just general life shit.
Not relationship related things.
Yep. How far into the YouTube do you want to get before we turn off TikTok?
I have like 6 pages of notes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. AJ said we're getting lots of love for the shirts. So for those of you guys who have been waiting for this, we got stickers on the way.
We do.
And the only thing that we don't have yet is the packages to mail this shit out. But I'm hoping to have them on the website on a limited drop at some point next week. So
I'm so excited about that. I still have the option to do handwritten thank yous, right?
Yes. They just won't be as the fancy cards because the fancy cards aren't in yet. So with that being said, I'm going to end my TikTok because this is too much for me.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some weird internet inception shit going on right now, and it's too much. So for those of you who are watching me on my TikTok, goodbye. Join us on YouTube to be better. Bye.
I'm going to keep mine going just a little bit.
It won't turn off.
And then we'll jump.
There we go. Boom.
So for those of you who are just joining my TikTok live, I will be ending this in probably 5 or 10 minutes. So if you want to keep going with the discussion and actually learn about the first love language, go to YouTube, go to our channel, To Be Better. We're live there.
Yep.
All right. So
AJ told me to hold out for 15 minutes on TikTok. I'm not doing that, bro. Because I got to be honest, I don't care enough about TikTok for all that. YouTube is where it's at for me. If TikTok wants to start paying me the way YouTube wants to pay me, then we'll TikTok it.
Okay.
And which might be a thing because the beta program is there, but
right.
It's just too much.
All right. So the first love language is words of affirmation.
Okay.
And I wanted to preface it with it is one of 5 love languages. Within this one language, there are many dialects. So in what I have notes of, we're only going to go over 3 of them. So if your partner's love language is words of affirmation, you have to do research on how to love them properly. If their love tank is empty, it's going to be continuous battles for you guys. The tongue has the power of life and death. What you speak...
That's what she said. Sorry.
What you speak into the universe is going to be your reality.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly speaking hateful, spiteful, bitter words to one another, that's going to be your relationship. Mm-hmm. If you're uplifting each other and speaking kind words and love to each other, that's going to be your reality. So words of affirmations verbal compliments, and words of appreciation. Couple examples. You look sexy in that suit.
Yeah.
I appreciate how you're always on time. You're super punctual. Sexiest thing about you. You always make me laugh. Thank you for making time for us. I really do cherish it when you do that.
So out of all of those examples, for me, the ones that mattered the most are the punctual and the thank you for taking time out for us.
Yeah.
Because though it's nice, it's flattery. It's nice to be complimented.
Right.
But to feel like your efforts are not unnoticed is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet for most men that is, because I don't know, everybody's got their own love language, right? You have your primary and then where you fall. But I'm willing to bet that I'm proud of you. You're a good dad. I really appreciate you going to work and killing yourself for your family. Those kind of things, all men want to hear that. Even the ones who are like, well, that's my fucking job.
Right.
We may play the tough guy. That's my fucking job. Yeah, it is. But behind doors, you're like, damn, she fucking recognizes me. Like,
Yeah.
you
hit
know.
them with that. You're an amazing provider.
Yep. Yeah, dude. And I'm proud of you is the biggest one. First time you told me you were proud of me, I almost cried. Like, for real, almost cried. Like, went to the bathroom and like had to get myself together, almost cried.
I didn't know that.
I don't know. We work. Men are supposed to work. We're supposed to provide and protect and do what men are supposed to do. And because it's expected of us, we don't get the gratitude. It's no different than women who stay at home. They don't get the thank you for doing the dishes. Thank you for making the bed. So those little recognitions are fucking nice.
Yeah.
But having somebody tell you I'm proud of you when you are struggling and working to do that shit, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to just, I don't know, hear it and just accept it. We have 360 people watching us right now. I think we just
Holy
beat
shit.
last week's record.
There are 105 people in my life.
You need to tell them to go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube, guys. If you are enjoying this conversation and you want to learn some stuff about words of affirmation, the first love language, go to the YouTube channel. That's where we're going to be live for the rest of this. I'm going to cut you guys off in about 10 minutes.
Do we want to plug Patreon right now? We'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay. Verbal compliments are greater motivators than nagging words.
Absolutely.
And I wrote out a little scenario.
Okay.
I think a lot of people could relate to.
Pause. She's been doing this for hours today.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. We recorded episode 16, and between episode 16 and this, she was the entire time in her notebook. You were in it this morning when I was gone at the Money Guy, and you've been on and off of it all day today.
I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I worked on this for an hour before I woke the kids up.
Wow.
I'm shaking a little bit because I had kind of an adrenaline dump because I was like, okay, we're right in the fucking wire. I need to get this done.
Yeah. You did it. I know that they appreciate the work that you put into it, but I appreciate the work that you put into it.
Yeah.
It shows that this is not just us bullshitting. Like, we're really fucking doing the work.
Right.
It's gangster.
Thank you.
It feels good. It feels good that you're doing the work. I get to benefit.
Words of affirmation, guys.
Not what I was going for, but yes, it is.
That is what that is.
I
You're
know.
acknowledging the work that I'm putting in and you're saying it makes your life easier.
Yep.
Knowing that I'm making your life easier and that you actually see it and you value it makes me want to do it more.
Right. Yeah, because you feel good about it. It's not a chore. It's a privilege. There's a difference between serving and being a servant.
Right.
Love that.
So the scenario is, it's going to be a woman speaking.
Okay.
I want him to clean out the garage. And I asked him to do it this, I want him to clean out the garage. And this last Saturday, instead of doing it, he spent time on his computer. I told him, I don't understand. Today would have been a perfect day to work on the garage. Instead, you're sitting in here on your ass on your computer. And he said nothing, and the garage is still a mess. In that scenario, logical answer is, so he knows he wants you to clean it, right? Mm-hmm. It is known. You have made it known. He knows you want it done. So, does he know you want it clean? Of course he does. I've been asking him to do it for 3 months. So outside of you nagging about the garage, does your husband do anything good? Does he take the garbage out? Does he grab milk because you forgot while you were at the store? Does he hold you when you're emotional? And does he understand your outburst when you're hangry and it's not just you being bitchy at him? If he is a good man outside of the one thing you have an ongoing issue with and you're not acknowledging those things, he's going to be less inclined to do the one thing that you haven't shut up about in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Because if you're just harping on the fact, I can't believe you haven't done this yet, you know this needs to be get done. We talked about this for 3 weeks in a row. Why haven't you done the garage yet? But you haven't acknowledged the fact that he's getting home late from work because he's doing overtime. He gets home from work and he gives the kids a bath so you can have 30 minutes to yourself. He's running to the store after work because you forgot something while you were out earlier. So at that point, there's 2 suggestions. Never mention the garage again. Don't bring it up. He already knows you want it done, and you haven't shut up about it. And the next thing is, when he does something good, give him a verbal compliment. You taking out the trash makes my life easy. Instead, it's about time you took the fucking trash out.
Right.
So when you give your man little, babe, I love it when you do that. You folding the laundry earlier saved me 30 minutes and I was able to get something done I've been putting off for 2 weeks.
Right. This shit goes a long way.
Yeah.
It really does. And it makes us feel like we're valued. I also want to touch on the computer thing.
Right.
Because if he is working a full-time job and computers is his hobby or his passion, or he's trying to build a new gaming system so that he has to do that, and he has 1 day off a week to do those things, sometimes computer shit could take you an hour or it could take you 6.
Does that say almost 530 people are watching this?
There's 688, I believe.
That's crazy.
Or no, current viewer says 527. He said 515 a minute ago, so
That's
it's
wild.
definitely going up. But so for you've seen it. As we've built computers, sometimes something that should take 20 minutes takes 6 fucking hours.
Yeah.
So in that scenario where like he has a full day, he knows how long it's going to take him to clean the garage. You have no idea how long it's going to take you to do the computer. So like, and sometimes we just want to do our hobby.
Right.
It doesn't always need to be a workload. And like, so that scenario of knowing that you want the garage done, I can do that in sessions. But if my computer doesn't get fixed and turned back on, I may not be able to use my computer for a day or 2. You know what I mean? Like, people need to be really understanding when you tell somebody to do something or ask someone to do something that they still have their own lives and loves and passions and wants. You have to be accepting of that.
Right.
If you were like, Sundays are our only day off, and you're like, all right, I'm going to Target with the girls, and then I'm going to Hobby Lobby and Starbucks. I'll be back in 4 hours, knowing that Sunday's my only day off. I'm gonna be like, well, I mean, now what am I going to do with myself? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Sometimes you need to realize that people just need to do the things that they want to do, and it's not a big deal to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the positive affirmations one a lot because I like the verbal confirmation that I'm doing a good job. A lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? And when you've got a shitty childhood like I did, it's very rewarding. It's all the attaboys that I didn't get, I'm getting as an adult.
Yeah.
So
Do you think I'm doing that for you?
I think we do it for each other.
Yeah.
It's very nice because I don't ever feel like I'm doing something because it's my duty. I do feel like I'm seen and it's appreciated because you call it on everything. I went to the tax man yesterday and went to my accountant, and you were like, I'm so glad that you do this because I don't want to fucking deal with any of this. You make my life easier.
Yeah.
And I'm stressed dealing with the fucking accountant, and I got this positive ass message when I got back in the fucking truck. You know what I mean? So the whole ride home, I'm still dealing with taxes and money, which is always stressful.
Right.
But there's an uptick there because
It makes it worth it knowing it's being seen.
Right.
That your stress and the hardship that you're going through is for a reason, and
Right.
I'm acknowledging it.
Yep.
All right, so words of affirmation is not a suggestion to use verbal flattery to manipulate your partner.
Right. Speak on that shit.
Yes. It is not to manipulate your partner to do what you want them to do. The goal The goal is to not get something out of your spouse, but to do something because you care for the well-being of them.
Right.
So,
Yeah, elaborate on that.
right. So going back to the garage. Say Frank likes to do wood shop, and that's where he does it, in the garage. But over the last few months, things have become cluttered because you're spring cleaning. He acquired something. It's just a mess. He hasn't been able to do it. Saying, babe, I really think that you should get the garage cleaned up. That way you can go back to doing something you love is different from, I can't believe it's been 3 months and you still haven't cleaned out the garage.
Right. Pause.
Yes.
610 motherfuckers are watching us right now on YouTube.
That's crazy.
What? 610.
Yeah.
Fucking get some.
Maintaining at 800 on TikTok.
New record.
Yeah, that is a new record.
Guys, make me feel like special.
Yeah.
Good day to wear our shirts.
Do you think I should cut off TikTok?
I'd give it another 5 minutes or
Okay.
so. AJ was very adamant about me leaving it on for 15 minutes. My brain couldn't take it. It's too much.
Okay.
So next week, I'm going to have to just suck it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Could be a little bitch. Come on.
So the first dialect out of the many that come with this language is it is encouraging words. And the word encourage, by definition, means give support, confidence, or hope to someone. Give support and advice to someone so that they will do or continue to do something, or to help or stimulate an activity, a state, or a view to develop. So to encourage is to literally uplift someone to be the best versions of who they are.
Okay.
Are you processing?
I'm processing a lot. I've never read that definition.
Yeah.
You know what encouragement means.
Right.
But to hear it actually laid out, can you read the first part of that again? Because those first 4 words were...
Give support,
Okay.
confidence, or hope to someone.
Okay. That was the very first part of the definition?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Like when you really break down, to encourage doesn't mean just to uplift someone.
Right.
Like there really is a lot there. And to support, uplift, and give hope, like that's a big deal. And I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot for me to process. I'm not a wordsmith.
Yeah.
So
It really is a lot when you think about it, because a lot of relationships, I see arguments in public.
right. Yeah. I would
Like
never,
screaming matches.
I would fucking never, ever treat you like that in public.
So just hearing the things I hear in public, I can't imagine what's said behind closed doors.
Right.
And if to encourage is to give support, confidence, or hope to someone, for example, if someone's massively depressed and your partner, instead of saying, you got this, babe, today's a new day, just make the bed, you did something.
Yeah.
Instead, they go, really, you're depressed, suck it up. Come on, it's been 2 weeks. Get over what you're going through. That first one gives hope.
Right.
The second one is just pure rejection.
It also, that first episode, first example also gives confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That only thing I can think of in my head is dude wants a new job or wants to open a business or wants a raise and is looking to talk to his boss and is just sheepish.
Mm-hmm.
Boss is intimidating. Maybe it's somebody he's always admired and he finally landed a new job and now he's uncomfortable talking to the boss because he sees a lot of himself in this man and believes he can obtain that one day. And he wants to go talk to the boss and try to solidify some intrapreneurship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he tells his wife, I really want to do this. And the wife was like, quit being a bitch and go do it. Like, that's not the same thing as being like, babe, you have been waiting your entire fucking life to meet this guy and to make this opportunity. And you have the ability, you have the skill sets, you have the words, you know what you need to do. Go fucking do that. Like, that confidence, knowing that your woman believes in you, goes a long fucking way. Knowing that you have family supporting you, because it's very easy for somebody to just discount your dreams.
Right.
I'm finishing the word, and that first 3 thing is like, that's, in my opinion, the foundation of relationships.
Yeah.
If
Having that faith in one another.
Yeah, and being able to build someone's confidence. Like, we have enough nonsense, right? Like, there's enough ugliness in the world. So to have somebody who is, even if they're a negative Nancy and don't believe in a lot of good things are happening, like I never believed this would be a thing.
Oh God!
And
no.
there's so many people be like, bro, this is just the beginning. You have no fucking idea what's coming.
Right. Look,
It's
what's
giving
coming
me
next?
confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you were like, babe, I really think I want to try to do cooking videos, but I have no idea what I'm doing. And like, and I set up the cameras and you do the thing and you're like, I hate it. I can do better. And I'm like, you fucking can do better. Like, you're a badass. You have this. We just need to figure out the camera angles. And I start throwing ideas at you to get your brains going. That's so much different than going, yeah, babe, whatever. You did a good job.
Right.
And walking away. Like that's that buildup. That's,
it is.
I don't know.
That is.
That's a lot for me. I
Right. You're really going through it.
I am, because I've never read the definition. Encouragement to me has always just been like, support your people.
Right.
But to give confidence and hope. To give confidence is fucking huge. You know how many people don't look at people in the eye when they walk into the room because they lack that self-confidence, that self-awareness?
I was that person, yeah.
I know. It's fucking wild. Zeke sent a fucking $49 free thing that you do. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Brother, if you ever come to Florida, I would love to just go to dinner and sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, that man goes above and beyond.
He really does. And it says, we support you too. Much love from Patreon. So thank you.
Guys, stop it. I want to piggyback off of what you were just talking about in building up the confidence. There was a blurb in the book about a woman being a writer, and she became pregnant, started a family. She dropped off writing, even though it was a dream of hers. Like, she went to college for it. She wanted to be a published writer. That was going to be her thing. She gave it up to be a mom. 10 to 15 years into the marriage, her husband actually starts going back and reading at the things that she wrote in journals. And it dawns on him, like, she was good.
Yeah.
And then he starts to encourage her, like, babe, like, I know that you still want to write. Like, your imagery, the way that you write is just amazing. You need to get back into it. If he would have recognized that 15 years earlier, she could have kept doing it and be further than where she is now.
Yeah.
But because he wasn't paying attention to her interests, he couldn't give her those words of affirmation to keep going and build up that confidence and that courage. Once he started giving her the words of affirmation, she went on to publish multiple articles, multiple books, and she's just living her dream.
Because somebody believed in her.
Because somebody believed in her.
So, yes, she could have done that earlier, but I wonder how much better her kids' lives were because she was there.
Right.
And I think about shit like that when people are like, oh, I could have had my career and I could have had this and I could have had that and done all this shit. But where would your kids have been? Like,
Right.
how would that have changed their lives? It could have changed into better. You could have traveled the world and your kid could have got to see all kinds of crazy shit. But you don't know if you would have been present in their lives the way that you were if you weren't writing. Sometimes timing matters. Sometimes the time that you put in, like when you do it, matters.
Right.
We got another $50 super chat. This one's from Julie Rock, and it says, I'm not going to go toe-to-toe with Zeke
Good.
because she learned.
Y'all are going to go bankrupt.
And she wrote, but we are over 800 in the stream. Please like and the live and share. We are at 868. I feel bad for Danielle. How are them squats feeling? I have no idea where the actual like squat count is, but there's 100. Everybody that's watching right now, we have somebody in the chat who said she's going to do a squat for every dollar we make tonight.
I did 150 squats in one go, and I couldn't sit down on a toilet to pee for 3 days.
Yeah, the first day she did that, she was like, "I'm so glad the super chat stopped because it was only like 100 and something." And I was like, "Are you rocking to get off the toilet yet?" And she's like, "I don't know what you mean." And the next day, she's like, "I know what you mean now."
Yeah, that's rough. Those DOMs, they don't play around.
To bring confidence and inspire hope.
Did that myself. That wasn't even plagiarized.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
Yeah.
That I don't know. The English language is wild because we
Right.
understand what you mean by a word. We get
Right.
it. Like everybody knows, but when you really break down a definition and it lets it sink in, like that's
massive.
I don't know. Before you start again, we got another $50 super chat. Minnie Latstetter. My husband and I adore you guys. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Never stop. As long as you guys are here for what we're doing, we're here for what we're doing.
Yeah, as long as the support's there and there's a continuous demand for us, I don't see why not.
Yep.
Gives us something to do.
It really does. And I enjoy the shit. I enjoy the time with you. So
I do have fun with you.
yeah, you're a badass. That was the highlight of my day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a whole lot to think about now. I like words.
Right.
And I like having a better understanding of shit. 7th grade education doesn't go very far. So when somebody says that, I'm going to have a different understanding of that word. It's no different when people say resent.
Right.
I understand now. It's envy. It's not bitterness. Like there's anyways.
All right.
Words are fun.
Y'all need to listen to this.
Okay.
All
Listening.
right. The potential.
Undivided attention. The
Thank
potato.
No more further interruptions, please.
Blah, blah, blah. Sorry.
The potential that you claim to see in your spouse will blossom with a few encouraging words from you.
Yeah.
So when people constantly say, I know you can be better, I know you're more than this, I know your self-worth is more than this, but all you do is constantly degrade them, why would they push their limits to be any better? When you constantly claim, I know that they can be more, he can make more money if he just applies himself. Why would they do that if you don't encourage them?
Right. That's a lot too. And it's a lot. Because even in that scenario, knowing that your man can make more money and hyping him up to do so are two different things.
Yeah.
Because in that scenario, if you're at a fireside gathering with your friends, somebody's birthday or whatever, and everybody's sitting around having a drink, gossiping, talking, and you're like, he could make so much more money if he just applied himself or if he just blah, 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 because now you're shaming him in front of all of his friends.
Exactly.
But if behind closed doors, you're like, look, you're a motherfucker, like be a motherfucker, go get that money. And you hype him up to do that shit and like point out all of his positive attributes, he's going to go do that. Laura Doyle's books flat out said that when men have control of the money, they know how much is coming in and out, and they are more apt to ask for raises, to pick up second jobs, to do extra side work, because they're in control. They know what's happening with the finances. In a scenario like that, where that's the thing, the woman would have to be very aware of what's going on or just be that cheerleader. I cheerlead the fuck out of you. I do. And like, I handle our finances. I don't need to do that. I do it for your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And I do it because I know that it makes you smile and it makes you happy. And you do the same thing for me. And it's never from a place of degradation. Like, we don't do that to each other. There was a lot there. You need to read that again. There was a lot. Jesus Christ.
I like it when I can write down a thought and it throws you off.
It's not that it throws, dude,
It's a lot to process.
I have tabs open doing
Right.
searches and shit in my brain right now. There's just so much there because it really does come down to how much somebody supports you.
Right.
And your delivery is fucking everything. It's no different than an argument.
It just makes me feel good that I can think of something and it's actually triggering thought processes in other people.
Yep.
The potential that you claim to see in your spouse will blossom with a few encouraging words from you.
That you claim to see in your spouse.
Yeah.
That's where I'm hung up, because that's the difference.
It is.
If you believe that and you really see it, you're going to lift them up versus talking shit to them, to their friends around a fireside. That's a lot.
Yeah. I choose my words very carefully.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Note that this is not about pressuring your spouse to do what you want. It is about encouraging to develop an interest that they already have. An example. No, I'm not going to move on to that example yet. We're going to go back because you were talking about a man who is already looking to upgrade his job to make more money versus a woman saying you need to make more money.
Right.
You saying you need to make more money to support this family is pushing your best interests on your partner.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh. I'm not ready for that. I'm not even ready for that conversation.
Okay.
My brain's not even there yet, and you've just disrupted everything.
Okay.
Because holy shit, that is such a fucking selfish statement, and I've
It is.
never looked at it that way.
This is what I've been working on all day.
Say that again, please.
Okay. So, talking about a man who is looking to already pursue an upgrade in his job to make more money versus a wife saying, you need to make more money, you need to provide better. A woman saying that is pushing her best interest on her man. When a man is already looking to upgrade his job and make more money, he's already pursuing that interest.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take in. Because as a man, that's our goal, to be the
Right.
best possible providers. And like in our situation, I handle the finances, so I know our money, and you know the money because you look at it. But to think that if you ever came to me and were like, we need to make more money, I would never think to go, well, what do you want? What is it that you need that I'm not providing? I would never have thought that. And now that you've said that, like, if you ever come to me and be like, babe, we need to do something to elevate ourselves. Are you trying to buy another house? I'm going to instantly go to what is it that you're trying to obtain so that I know what the fuck I'm working for, because I'm always trying to level up.
Right.
I have my goals and my aspirations, but I've never looked at it from her standpoint and what she's doing in a selfish manner. It's always been, how can I provide more for my family and have a dope life? Like, oh man. I wasn't ready for this conversation, apparently.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
It's
throw
good.
so much at you in one
It's
go.
just a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're getting the same thing that I'm getting from it, because I really wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
I may have to get another energy drink to keep up with you.
Would you like me to get one for you? Give you something to look at while I walk away.
Babe, you give me something to look at just sitting there.
Goosebumps. So, here's an example of how to show love through words or rejection through words. So, an example is a husband wants to open a carpenter business. He has 15 years in the industry. He knows everything he needs to do. He has all of his own tools. He literally just has to open the LLC or whatever.
Right.
But that's a big step for a lot of people. There's a lot of fear in the unknown of if it's going to make it.
Right. There's a lot of risk there too.
There is.
Especially when you've got a long-term career where you've got that financial comfort.
Right.
And you've been putting money into a Roth and mutual funds, and you're finally starting to get a nest egg. When you get to that point, you're very afraid of losing.
Right.
And that's what separates people who are uber successful and people who never really do shit is the successful ones go, okay, what's next?
Right.
And they push for it. It's a kill or be killed thing the entire time. It's never a matter of comfort. But making that next step is fearful for a lot of people.
Especially for a man. If he is the sole provider and he's looking to open his own business and step away from that comfortability, if it fails, he failed his family.
Yep. Especially if they go through their savings and there's nothing left by the time it's done. Absolutely.
Right. So in this moment, the wife has the opportunity to love or reject. A love response would be, if you decide to do this, I know you will succeed. That's one of the things that I love about you. You put your mind to it and you get it done. And I will do anything I can to support you.
Okay.
That's not hard.
No, it's not. And that will push somebody to succeed.
A way to reject that is it takes a lot of time and energy to open a business. You already complain about working 60 hours a week. It takes a lot more to open a business. And you already don't help me around the house.
Yeah. It's wild. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. What are you at on your TikTok?
Almost 600.
You want to end that? And just because we're holding steady at 600 on YouTube.
All right. So TikTok, I am ending this live. If you want to hear the rest of the words of affirmation love language, go to our YouTube channel. The number 2, be better. I hope to see you over there.
While she's shutting that down, guys, I just want to say, if you haven't checked out our Patreon yet, now would be a good time to make a note to do that. Don't leave the live chat by any means. Don't leave. Stay where you're at. But you would want to check out the Patreon. We have a Discord over there. And, I mean, you guys, if you're in the comments, I'm sure that our Discord family in there is chatting it up right now. I'm pushing Patreon. But we do 2 live streams a week. We do this one on Thursday, and then we do a private one for Patreon on Sunday nights. So... and then obviously the Discord channel and all that shit's a lot of fun too. So highly recommend that you check it out.
I went up 400 followers with that live.
Gangster.
For 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
All right. Next point. Are we ready or do you need time to process?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
When we're done with that, I'm going to get another drink though.
How is everybody feeling about what's going on right now? Because I did put a lot of time into this, more than the intro, because I want to make sure I'm thorough, because this is legit going to impact people's lives.
Yeah.
So if I am all over the place, or if I seem sloppy with my notes, I want to know. Or if you're actually gaining information, I also want to know that.
Right. You know that there's going to be a lot of people who would have read that book that would have, like, obviously some of that is cliff notes and then a discussion on top of it.
Right.
But for somebody like me reading that book or listening to it, there's a lot there that I wouldn't have thought of.
Right.
So having this discussion and having people in the chat having the thoughts that they're having creates a very big back and forth that's going to create different points of view.
Right.
I don't know. I'm learning from this. And I've already read the book and listened to the audiobook.
Yeah.
So
when I make my notes, I don't copy and paste my notes. I will read what I've highlighted, process it myself, and write it down in my own words and what I've digested from that. And I elaborate on it. Like the things that fucked you up, like the woman being selfish, that's not in that book.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's your thoughts. I'm not saying that this is you regurgitating shit somebody else read. I watched. I know what you did. There's just, I would have never thought that. And something that you read in that book triggered that thought for you.
Yeah.
And unless we were driving, listening to an audiobook, or you were reading it to me and we had that discussion in the moment, I would have never correlated that. Yeah. I would have never in my life correlated that, because men are supposed to provide. It's our job to take care of our family. So it just, that would have never been a thing for me.
Right.
It would have just been like, oh, we need to make more money. Okay, we're going to make more money. Like, I don't know. So putting it from a to make her life better standpoint changes. It's fucking wild. Yeah. Anyways.
Can we make clips from the lives?
Yes.
Because there are things that I would like to post to TikTok from this.
I can save it, and you'll have to cut me out of it and blow it. I can show you how to do all that.
Okay.
So yes, it's recording onto the computer.
Okay. So encouragement requires empathy and understanding of your spouse's perspective. First, you must learn what is important to your spouse. You want to communicate, I know, I care, I am with you, and how can I help?
Did you say encouragement? What's encouragement? What with
requires empathy?
Requires empathy. Okay.
So going back to, like, if somebody's depressed and they're having a hard time just getting out of bed and making the bed, you have to be able to empathize with that person, because if they've been in depression for 3 weeks and they're doing absolutely nothing around the house, more people are likely to be inclined to be frustrated
Yeah, that makes sense.
and not being willing to understand, what do you mean you're depressed?
Right.
The encouragement of get out of bed, babe, you got this. Make the bed and you did something. That's an accomplishment.
Right. Yeah. And that's said with love. And that's, I guess, where the empathy comes in. So that makes sense. I read today that truth without love is cruelty. Mm-hmm. It's just cruelty.
Yeah.
And I dwelled on that shit hard. I even posted it to my Facebook page. Like that's fucking like insightful to me, because if you really love somebody, you can say the hurtful shit to them from a place of love and it's not mean.
Right.
But if you say some foul shit to somebody just to say it, even though it's true and it's coming from a place of disgust or hurt, it's very different. It is cruel.
Yeah.
That kind of just tied in. That's wild.
So the next dialect is kind words.
Okay.
Love is kind. If words of affirmation is yours or your spouse's love language, you must use kind words and a kind tone. So you can say, I love you, but the tone in which you say it is going to change the meaning of it.
That's true.
So if I go, babe, I fucking love you. That's love.
Right.
If we just had a tense moment and you reach out to me and say, baby, I love you. And I go, yeah, I love you too.
Right. Yeah. You're just trying to appease the conversation at that point.
That's two separate tones.
What if you grab them by their face and be like, I fucking love you?
Well, my heart's racing. So,
what you getting squirmy for over there?
yes, please.
So
And
stupid.
another one I wrote down is, of course, I'm doing the dishes.
Okay.
So if said in a tone, of course, I'm doing the dishes. That's, I got you.
Right.
I'm going to knock this out. You go do what you're doing. If you go, of course, I'm doing the dishes. That's I can't believe I have to fucking do this again.
Right.
Why can't you handle the dishes? This is your job.
That conversation plays into so many fucking things that we talk about.
It really does.
Tone, inflection, and verbiage. Body language.
Yeah. So I wrote down a little example of, I felt disappointed and hurt that you didn't offer to help me. When it's said gently, it's an expression of love and wanting to be seen by the spouse. So in saying, I feel hurt that you didn't offer to help me, that shows you saw me struggling and you decided to turn your head. That sucks. And when
Can we finish your point? But I want to come back to that.
Okay. So when that happens, it's asking for an opportunity to discuss the hurt and find healing instead of fighting.
Okay. That makes sense.
Are you okay?
I am. I because of the fuck, I don't even know how to word this without sounding like a pompous fuck face. Because of the type of man I am, if I see you struggling to do anything, I'm stepping in. I don't want you to stress or feel anxiety or run down or overworked or tired or whatever the case may be. Right? So
I inhaled carbonated soda. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to die.
that little alien navigating your body hit the wrong button or pulled the wrong lever, huh?
That was rough.
But to be or to hear somebody in a marriage have to word something like that because they're struggling and their partner decided to ignore them, or their spouse or whatever decided to ignore them in the moment and just let them struggle, that's not teamwork.
It's not.
That's not love. That's not intimacy.
That's a rejection of love.
It is. It fucking is. It's so much easier to do things when you have multiple hands and you have teamwork and help. So if you're doing something and I notice that you're struggling and I jump in and help real quick, I get to play the hero and save the day.
Right.
Do you really need me to do it? No, you could fucking do it on your own, but now we get to do it together and it's going to be easier for everyone involved. Like, so I'm really hung up on that now too, because that's, I don't know.
That sentence is also I'm telling you how to love me.
Right.
I feel disappointed and hurt.
That's a whole nother conversation. Pause, because I want to get into that.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from James Markle that said, my wife tells me every day, thank you for all you do for our family, but I know you'll be the best motherfucker that ever motherfuckered.
I love that.
Since I have applied myself harder and went for the bag harder, my income has doubled and our life has skyrocketed.
Ooh,
it matters.
She's right. You are the motherfucker.
That the best motherfucker that ever motherfuckered.
Ooh.
I love that.
He's nailing it. Like, she said it and he's like, I'm living up to that.
Yeah, I bet he is.
I'm I love that for them.
Yeah, that's gangster.
Get
Can you read that last sentence about talking about teaching somebody how to love you? Because
Oh, that's not written down. I just thought of that.
say it again.
Okay. I just thought of that. So that is showing somebody how to love them. When you say, I felt disappointed and hurt that you didn't offer to help me, that gives you the option to love them.
Right.
So that conversation of wanting to discuss the hurt to find healing instead of fighting is, I was struggling. I thought you could see that I was struggling, and it hurt my feelings that you didn't offer to help me. And then the other person would respond with, I had no idea you were going through that.
Right. And emotionally mature person would respond that way.
Right.
9 times out of 10, though, it's going to be responded with, well, why didn't you say something?
Right.
Yeah.
And then if it's said with, why didn't you say something? That person then should say, well, I did say I thought you could see I was struggling. So if you couldn't see it, that is on me for not verbalizing it. But going forward, if you see that I'm flustered or I'm running back and forth or I need to tell myself to breathe, those are signals for me subconsciously that I need you to step in and help me.
Right. And that comes down to being able to read body language. And the reason that I want to delve into that is because sometimes frustration can appear to be a you problem. Mm-hmm. Like you're feeling frustrated and I'm in the room and I feel like I'm contributing to it somehow.
Right.
And in some cases, the response for that is to leave the room so that I'm not part of the problem anymore, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And in the event that that's happening and you were to go, I'm not mad at you. I need help. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed, whatever. My response is going to be, what can I do to help?
Right.
And that's how that dialogue needs to happen. Your statement triggered the thought of my criticism thing. Your partner's biggest criticism of you is them asking for what they need the most. You're never fucking here. They miss you. They want to spend more time with you, whether it's a date night or whatever the case may be. They're telling you, they're just wording it wrong.
Right. We never do anything.
Right.
They don't want to sit around the house with you anymore.
Right. They want to go out of the house. Yeah. That's important.
Right.
That's big.
And I put in the little blurb of instead of fighting, because that could 100% turn into a fight. When you say, I felt disappointed and hurt that you didn't offer to help me, that is said gently with love.
Yeah, it has to be, because you tell somebody that you're disappointed in them, it doesn't matter how you say it.
If you were to say, I can't believe you saw me struggling tonight and you did absolutely nothing to help me. I'm your fucking wife.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a war zone.
That's a war zone. The way that you say things and the tone and the inflection that you use matters.
Yep. Yep.
A soft answer turns away anger. You're blinking rapidly.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong. Like that's a profound statement too.
Right.
Because when I'm going through it and you are soft with me, it instantly turns me down. I could be at an 11, it'll bring me to like a 7 or a 6. And it makes me honestly, it makes my borderline a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah.
When I'm having a borderline episode and you're gentle and not on that roller coaster with me, I always feel like I'm overreacting. Always. Yeah. And I'm like, oh God, I'm overreacting. And then I have to dial it back because I'm trying to match the energy that you're giving me. And that's a hyper awareness thing on my part. I mean, it has nothing to do with anyone else, but I'm willing to bet that most people would feel that way.
Right.
And it's got to be done in a non-condescending way, because if you get mad and somebody's like, oh, why are you triggered? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Fuck you. There's a difference. You know what I mean? That's,
if you were to go, babe,
yeah.
what's going on? You seem like you're triggered.
Yeah. We don't talk to each other like that. What's happening right now?
That's totally different than.
You hit me with that the other night.
I did.
Yep. It instantly dialed me the fuck back. Yep. Crazy.
Yeah. You've hit me with that a couple of times too. We don't talk to each other like that. That immediately dials me back.
Yeah.
Because I don't realize I'm going unchecked until you check me.
Yeah. Soft. How did you word that?
A soft answer turns
Soft
away
answer.
anger.
Okay.
Listen to the anger and what they are saying. Do not seek to defend yourself. Look from their perspective and then express softly your understanding of why they feel this way. So if your partner comes to you and they're super angry and they're like, I can't believe you told Jessica about what happened last week when you and I were in an argument. Don't defend yourself and go, well, I'm allowed to have friends. I need to vent outside of our relationship. Take a step back. If your spouse or your husband's upset that you went to somebody and divulged your marital information, you betrayed them.
Right. Oh, yeah. And they're telling you that without telling you that.
They are telling you that. That's why you need to take the step back from that anger and respond softly. And instead of defending yourself and saying, I'm allowed to have friends, I can speak to people outside of our relationship, repeat back to them what you just heard. You're hurt because you feel like I spoke out of turn in our relationship to somebody else. And if they go, yeah, that is how I feel, I'm sorry. And that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, you don't have to have a back and forth.
There doesn't have to be a back and forth. And there can also be, I hear you that this bothers you. I won't do that again.
That whole I feel betrayed statement in that moment, like, fuck, dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
And I think that would be more ground shattering than I can't believe you went outside of the marriage and talked to Jessica about the fight we had the other night.
Right.
Because that changes, like, now it's not a matter of what I did wrong in terms of having just a conversation and talking to my friends. You're telling me that you feel like I betrayed our foundation and trust in our relationship by going to a woman,
right,
and having a conversation about what's going on in our personal life, which we've talked to that at length. Like, that,
Yeah.
you don't do that anyways. But now, knowing that it's a betrayal thing, hearing you say that would change that entire conversation from something I fucking did that I can defend myself on, because I can defend on me needing to talk to my friends or me having that conversation. I can't defend myself against you feeling betrayed by my actions, because that's a you thing.
right.
And I could be a fuckface and be like, well, that's a you problem, and walk away. And it's going to show you exactly how I feel about our situation, right? Like, that's a whole nother discussion that could be problematic. But if you came at me and was like, I feel like you betrayed us. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
That's good. That's up there with, I'm disappointed in you. Like, I need a drink.
Am I doing okay ab-libbing?
Yeah, you're fucking killing it.
Okay.
Oh my God. I have to control alt delete. You can keep going. I can hear you.
Well, I would rather wait until you're sitting back down. I feel it's disrespectful to speak to you when you're not facing me.
I'm doing another one. I'm going to have kidney stones by the end of this. Oh. I don't know what's going on in the chat right now, but I would like to give it up to AJ for doing a thing in there. And I'm sure Zeke and Jen A and all those guys are in there doing their thing. So I would like to say thank you to our moderators who are doing their shit, because we really, truly appreciate that. It's huge. What you doing over there?
Talking about the kids.
No.
Little man was in a really good mood when he got picked up from school today.
Yeah.
Did all of his homework.
Love that.
Love that too. It makes me happy.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, if your partner comes to you, even with anger, remain soft. If they feel like you have wronged them in any way, listen to it. And you have to admit that you've done something wrong in their eyes. Even if you don't feel it's wrong or you've overstepped a boundary, you've overstepped something for them.
Right. You know how hard that is for people?
It is. That's hard for me sometimes.
It's hard for everyone.
When you come to me and you say, babe, you overstepped, that sucks to hear, because
Yeah.
I think I'm on my A game constantly. And if I slip up or I cross a boundary and you tell me that I've hurt you, I'm like, fuck. Like, I can't believe I let myself slip like that.
Yeah.
But admitting that you were wrong and giving them that forgiveness is going to change the whole dynamic of everything that's happening.
Yeah. You're going to turn an hour or 2 hour conversation into a 15-minute discussion.
Right. And I want to clarify that this is not your boyfriend getting mad at you because you have friends you go out with Friday nights.
Right.
If you guys are going to Olive Garden to get catch up throughout the week and your boyfriend's trying to isolate you, that's a different scenario.
Right. Yeah. We're talking healthiness here.
Yeah.
Right.
So my notes devolve a little bit more, but I wanted to go back to remaining soft when somebody's angry. Like you've said, it helps with your BPD.
It does. It does.
There are a couple of moments where your BPD is really going, and I can tell you're going through it, and you might be a little snappy or something, but you always apologize after the fact. Like you recognize, like, hey, I could have been a little bit too much, and I'm sorry. If I were to match your energy and jump on that train of, oh, if he's going to be an asshole to me, I'm going to be a bitch back,
Yeah.
we would not be where we are.
No. Things would have fallen apart.
Yeah. I'm only thinking Beauty and the Beast.
I don't get it.
So Beauty and the Beast, Belle and the Beast.
No, I get that.
Right. So he was this beast that everybody was horrified of, and he's accepted that his life is going to be filled with misery, and he's going to be alone for the rest of his life, and everybody wants to kill him. And then Belle comes along and she softens him. He turns from the beast back to a human because a feminine woman was able to dial that back a little bit for him and to make him realize, like, you are fucking valued. You are more than what you are presented to the world, and I see it.
Didn't do the cartoon thing as a kid.
Right.
I always thought that story was about a woman wanting the big, burly, masculine thing. And then
No.
I remember the other guy.
Gaston.
Yeah. Anyways, stupid shit.
That's not what that movie is about, but that's my interpretation of the movie.
Right. Well, I'm glad you clarified because I would have never got that just by
No.
you saying Beauty and the Beast.
So, yeah, that's a whole movie. She sacrifices herself for her dad and she becomes prisoner and they fall in love and they do the fairy tale bullshit. But in reality, the way that I view that as is he is this very toxic masculine being who is presenting as a beast that nobody wants to be around and they're horrified of him and that he's a killer and he's angry because of that. Nobody cares about him. So why would he do any good
Right.
in the world? And then a woman comes along and sees him past that beast, sees him as a human being and his worth, and recognizes, like, you're lovable. That softness can tame the anger.
AJ just said that borderline personality disorder is now borderline personality in the chat due to a typo.
That's hilarious. Love does not keep score.
Ooh, here we go.
Intimacy is impossible when one of you is the judge and the other one is the felon.
Okay. Didn't see that coming. The keeping score thing we've talked on a lot.
Right. But when you think about it, if you're keeping score, one of you is judging the other person for every single wrongdoing they have.
Right.
You are attacking on years of suffering or their time because you want to keep score of everything. So if he forgets to do the dishes once, I'm going to complain about that for the next 6 months.
Right.
And then he drops the ball again. Okay, well, now that tacked on whatever you just dropped, that's another year. And it's just a continuous cycle of building up of, I can't believe he dropped the ball. I can't believe he did that. Now he's going to start keeping score.
Right.
And in each of your eyes, you're the judge punishing me because you think I'm a felon and vice versa.
That keeping score shit is fucking a detriment
Yeah.
to marriage. All around. There's not even, you just know there's not a positive outlet in keeping score like that. There's just not. Because at some point there's a loser.
Right.
So even if you're doing it in a positive light, like we're keeping score of the dates or the one-ups, somebody's losing there.
Right.
Subconsciously, you can't do that.
You know, when I was writing that out, the only thing that came to mind was that email we read today where she was like, I paid for every single date in the beginning and it didn't really bother me, but then it's kind of started bothering me and I said something to him and he's helping now, but he hasn't really made up for all of the money I spent
Right.
previously.
Right.
That's keeping score. If you don't voice that you are upset about something, you don't get to collect interest on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, the interest. Good fucking point on that one, too. Yep.
I'm just doing it tonight, aren't I?
Yeah, I mean, so this is the first time that we've had a back and forth to this extent with notes and like, I don't know, it just feels very different to me tonight. So
It's because usually you're the one who wants to go through the notes and what you have on your tablet, and I just pop in when I pop in.
I don't think that's it.
Yeah?
I think it's because it's not an email that I have to listen to solve somebody's problems. You are hitting me with things that I would have otherwise not thought of, and you're forcing me to think.
Gotcha.
Dealing with emails, it's brainless to me.
Yeah.
It's fucking brainless to me. Like we read some of those emails, and in the back of my head, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah.
And I don't ever say that because I understand that there's somebody hurting on the other side of that email. So I keep my mouth shut. But some of those emails are redundant as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, long time listener. I love your show. And then they ask something that we answered in episode 2. And I'm like, you don't really love the show.
Right.
You're just saying that because you want some help.
Yeah.
I understand that. So here we go. But like, I don't know. You're just hitting me with a lot. It's just a lot of things to fucking go. Before you pick that back up, guys, if you guys are enjoying this, because there's like 700 people in the live right now, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Please, for the love of God, subscribe to our channel. we are trying so fucking hard to grow this thing and to get to where this becomes a full-time job for us and we can do this. If you're not a part of Patreon and you don't want to do the monetary thing, that's cool. We respect the shit out of that. Share the content. Fucking just give it to somebody that you think is going to get value from this. I've got value from this.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking on the show. So like just
Yeah.
copy the link and send it to your Facebook. Fucking share it to your mama. Like, Mom, I wish you'd have taught me this shit. Something. Just the more people that can digest this information, the better the world is going to be.
You're also gonna
and
start-
I fucking mean that.
You're going to start breaking generational traumas.
Yeah. Yep. We get emails from people saying that I've learned more from you in 4 months than I've learned in 5 years of therapy.
Yep.
Unreal.
Total side note, but after we're done with the love languages, I want to do the 5 apology languages.
Yeah, I'm down for that because I haven't read that book.
I feel like that's going to change a lot for a lot of couples too.
I'm not going to read that book.
Good.
Yeah?
I want to hit you with shit.
Okay. You enjoy this, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
I feel like I'm flexing my intelligence and you're seeing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Babe, I see your intelligence anyways.
Right. I know. But in this
Okay.
moment, I feel like this is my time to shine.
Yeah,
Like,
and you are. You're fucking shining.
I've been doing hours of work into these notes.
Yep. AJ's going to have a whole lot of clipping to do.
Yeah.
And then you do too now that you got that big old fancy computer over there.
I'm so excited about it. All right. My next point is you have to learn to let go of yesterday. A lot of couples will experience a tense moment at 3 p.m. on Saturday, go to bed like nothing happened, and wake up Sunday and completely restart the whole argument over again.
Okay. Do you think that's really a thing for people that they just let it go? Or do you think that they dwell on it and it becomes
They
something?
let it go. They dwell on it.
Okay.
They had the little tiff. They argued back and forth. There was really no resolution. One of them thinks like, okay, we got past it. It's great.
Yeah.
Someone else is still holding on to something. One of them goes to bed thinking everything is all right. The other one's dwelling, and then they wake up in the morning and it's brought up all over again, and it's a whole new argument, and it's going to last longer than it did the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys need to resolve that shit when it happens. Holy poop. $100 super chat.
Oh, from who? Is it Zeke?
Lorraine.
Lorraine! Oh, she's just popping in.
Thank you for being such teachers. As redundant as it may be, keep the To Be Better Nation great. Hashtag To Be Better Nation. She didn't actually do the hashtag thing. That was all me, but
You can just call me Mrs. Peaches.
Mrs. Peaches.
Mrs. Peaches. 'Cause I'm a teacher now.
Oh, man. New kink unlocked.
Why do I want to run with it? It took everything in me. There are times I forget that we're recording and this is actually a live, so I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah. Yeah.
say something super.
Email. Not email. Notebook.
Notes.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Julie Rock, $50 super chat. Sorry, Danielle. I gotta support Peaches flexing her brain. Big hell yeah on that one.
Thank
With
you.
2 peaches. Danielle's got 150 squats to do just from those 2.
Yep.
Ooh.
Girl, your thighs are going to be on fire. I am not envious. I mean, good for the dedication. Like, you're
Yeah.
fucking doing it.
I love this.
Yeah.
This entire process and this experience for us is just insane to me.
It is.
And it's still new. We're 4 months. Like, it still feels like, I
Yeah.
can't believe this is fucking happening.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm just turning pages because now I'm all flustered. So, in a lot of those cases where something from the past isn't let go, if it was a tremendous betrayal in somebody's eyes, you know, I've heard people say, you should be begging for my forgiveness. Or, I don't know if I can forgive you for this. But you're still with them 6 months later.
Right.
If you really feel like you can't forgive somebody for what they've done and it's been 6 months, you need to let that person go, because at that point you're just putting them in a cycle
Yeah.
of, okay, she's kind of getting past it. I hope everything's all right. We've moved to, okay, she's accepted it. We're moving past it. I've changed my behavior, down to, I got triggered today. And now this came back to my forefront, up to, I don't know if I can forgive you for this.
Right.
And it's just a continuous cycle of, I will never be good enough. This is always going to be a thing. This will be my next 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. When you decide to forgive somebody, you have to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of, man, I didn't want to interrupt your circular thought. Can you read that thing one more time?
I didn't read anything. I just,
Didn't say what you said before you go into the circle thing.
You ought to be begging for my forgiveness.
That. It was that. I could not imagine being in a conflict with somebody that I love or that I have been in love with that has hurt me, and me to tell them you should be begging me for forgiveness. That is such a, like, I'm on my high horse, can do no wrong.
Right.
You fucked up. You owe me, bow down, peasant. Like, that,
I would walk away from that.
I couldn't imagine that. Well, I don't want you to beg me for forgiveness. I don't want to tell you to have to do that. That's fucked up. If you feel guilty for what you did, whether because you got caught or because you admitted it or because you did wrong or whatever the reason is, and you feel the need to apologize, that's a very different scenario than begging for forgiveness because I'm telling you to.
Right.
There's a whole lot of entitlement to that statement to me. Yep. I don't like that. It made me uncomfortable when you said it.
Your words matter.
Yep.
If they have acknowledged their failure, asked you for forgiveness, and changed their behavior, you must accept history and move on. Forgiveness is an expression of love. It is. Before I continue reading, forgiveness is an expression of love.
Yeah, you're showing mercy.
That is going, I love you. We have both fucked up. I choose to forgive you. And even though my feelings are hurt, I will not allow this to become between us.
I will not allow it.
It's a choice.
Because it's a choice. Damn.
You need to process that for a second.
I'm processing it.
Yeah.
I'm good. You can keep going. It's just a lot because I will not allow it. There's a power in your words. You speak things into existence.
You do.
This hurts. It sucks. But I love you, and I'm not going to allow this to destroy us.
That goes
Because you're making a decision at that point. You are speaking that into existence. We are going to be okay. It's going to
Right.
suck, and we got to process this shit. But I'm not going to allow this to destroy us.
That goes back to the tongue has the power of life and death.
Yeah. God spoke it, and then it was. We're made in His image, so we speak things into existence. I believe that shit.
I'm feeling really cocky about my notes right now, guys. Like, you said all of that.
Yeah.
I will not allow this. You are speaking that into existence.
Yeah, that's big.
The tongue has the power of life and death. I don't know if I can forgive you for this. I will not allow this to divide us.
Yeah. Yep. It really comes down to what you want and overlooking your hurt, which is hard.
All right. The last dialect we are touching on is humble words. Love makes requests, not demands. When a spouse demands things, it turns it into a parent-child relationship.
Yep.
When a parent tells a 3-year-old what to do, the 3-year-old must do it because they don't know better or they don't know how to navigate life.
Right.
So when you demand your partner or you demand your spouse, you are telling them, I view you as a child. You are not capable of living your life like a man should. So I'm going to override you and you're going to have to listen to me. That is a lot of men's lives daily where they go and kill themselves to work and then come home and get treated like another child. You have any thoughts on that?
I have a lot of thoughts on that. I have to respond to him right now while I'm thinking about it, though, or I'm going to forget. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot. We've talked about the love makes requests, not demands, a lot. The idea, we've talked about the mothering and nagging thing a lot, and it's our duty to get, to support your partner and ask versus complain and beg and nag and do all of that. The idea of just making simple requests and allowing your partner to fulfill those requests makes them the hero versus the villain for not doing it.
Yep.
And that's a very real scenario.
That's exactly it. When you make a request, you give them the option to love you.
Right.
And if they choose not to love you, that shows you where you stand.
Right.
You then can't demand them to love you because they've already shown you they won't even make the choice
Right.
to love you.
A lot of people want to be the hero. Most
Right.
men genuinely want to be the hero. We want to be the savior. We want to be the fucking knight in shining armor. We want to be the guy that saves the day and is the ultimate love of your life. Every great story saga has got the man in that role, and most men want that. So given the opportunity to be the hero versus the villain, we're going to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just natural for us. So like, if if me cleaning the garage in the earlier example or painting the room in the example that you gave is going to make you happy, I'm going to try to do it in a timely fashion because I know it's going to make you happy. I'm still going to put my priorities in my life. I'm not going to just prioritize your wants all the time.
Right.
But if I'm able to get that done in a timely fashion and it makes you happy and you show that gratitude, it's dope because I win.
Right.
And it's not a matter of keeping score like I won that way. It's a win for me in that the shit got done. I got an attaboy and my woman's smiling and happy at me versus I didn't get to it. Now I have to listen to her fucking complain. I don't want to hear her mouth anymore. I wish she'd shut the fuck up and our entire day is ruined because I didn't do what you wanted me to do when you wanted me to do it.
Right.
And that comes down to the request versus the man, because if you just tell me like, I would really like you to paint the bedroom, I'm like, cool, I got it. And I just don't do it in your time frame and it becomes a problem. It is guilt trip shit. Like you can't do that. There's a lot in that too.
Right. And I was just thinking, if you were actually painting the room, while you were actively painting, I would make it a point to pop in there every 30 or 40 minutes just to gawk at you.
Yeah.
Like if you were up on a ladder getting up there in the trim, I'd be like, damn. Okay.
You really would do that too.
I would. And I would be all flustered while doing it, but I'd try my damn best.
That's funny.
Feel like your shoulders look good when you reach up like that. I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
You look so good painting.
Focus. Your focus needs more focus.
Yeah, it does. It really does. But those little pop-ins of, babe, you look good up on that ladder. Oh, damn, she thinks I look good doing manly shit. Okay. It's little things like that will continue. The words of affirmation, the words of, babe, I love it when you do this shit.
Yeah.
They're going to be more inclined to do it. How you express your desires or wants matter. If you demand, you've erased the intimacy. If you request, you are showing how to love you, not giving ultimatums.
Yeah, and you need to read that all over again. I got hung up on one part of that, and though I heard all of it, I'm still hung up on the beginning of it.
How you express your desires or wants matter. If you demand, you've erased the intimacy.
That's what I got hung up on.
When you demand, there's no love.
Yeah, no, it's not. Because you are making someone do something they don't want to do, and if they don't do it, there's a
repercussion.
Right. That's a lot of people's marriages.
One way that I can think to put that is when you're at work and your boss tells you to do something, you go, no, okay, dope, do it or you're fired.
Yeah.
If you're a 15-year-old and your mom goes, clean your bedroom, no, clean your bedroom, I'm taking all your shit.
Yeah.
That's a demand and an ultimatum. If you do a request of, hey, babe, I'm super busy this week. Do you think you could do the dishes when you get home tonight? It's really going to help me out. That's a request.
Right.
And it's not just a request. It's a request, and you're going to make my life easier.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, like you've said, men want to make their women's life as easy as possible when there's an equivalent exchange of love going on.
Right. That last part of that statement was relevant and prevalent as well.
If you request, you are showing how to love you.
Right.
Not giving ultimatums.
Yeah.
I'm really just making your brain do jumping jacks.
There's just a lot. It's just a lot to process.
Yeah.
When you demand that I do something and I do it, it's not from a place of love. I'm doing it because you're requiring me to do it, or because there's going to be an issue if I don't. But doing it because I know it's going to make you happy and out of love, there is a very different reward system there.
Right. So you keep going back to doing things out of demand. Some spouses will respond out of fear or guilt. For example, holding something over them. You never get this done. You're just a lazy piece of shit.
Hold on.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat said, someone said, that sounds rapey. Don't demand intimacy. Somebody, do we need to stop this and have a discussion of what intimacy is?
Intimacy is not sex. So if you don't know the definition between the two, you should do some research.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's be adults, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who said that, but you obviously are new here.
Right.
Intimacy is the way that you talk to your partner. It's the way that you look at each other. It's the acts of service that you do to make their life better.
It's going out of way to do laundry or dishes when you know that they already got a bunch of things going on.
Yeah. Let's be better than that.
Yeah.
We also got a super chat, and it says, it's from Shea, and it says, Peaches is on her game tonight.
Thank you.
You are absolutely killing it.
Sometimes I see my woman doing something and I think, excuse me, madam. And then my brain goes, excuse me, madame. And then my ass goes, excuse me, ma. Damn.
Yep, you are on the game. You are on it, babe. You are on it.
A lot of spouses will respond and do things out of, she won't shut up about it until I do it.
Yeah.
Or if I don't do this, she's going to continue to throw in my face that I'm not a good man.
Ooh, God, that would hurt.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a fucking, don't win me. Don't even joke.
I would never. That's just an example.
I know, but damn, that hurts. I'm not even in that position, and I feel bad for somebody when a woman says shit to him. Like,
yeah.
ugh.
Are you ready for this one?
I've been ready.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
When you
Maybe.
when you request, you are affirming your spouse's worth and capabilities in your life.
Okay. One more time.
When
you request, you are affirming
your spouse's worth and their capabilities in your life.
Because you're letting them show you that they're capable.
Right. So if the sink's broke.
Ooh, that's good.
And instead of going, I'm going to call a plumber, I'm going to be like, hey, babe, take a look at the sink. I don't know what's going on and I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
You are now not only requesting for your man to step in and take care of you as a man, you're showing him you know he's capable of taking care of the house.
There's so much more to that. Yeah, capable is definitely the right word, but you're showing him that you trust him enough to handle things without having to go above and hire a specialist, or
yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
You're giving him the opportunity to prove to you that he's a man. And I'm willing to bet that most 9 times out of 10, even if we don't fucking know what we're doing, because of that scenario, we're going to YouTube it and figure it the fuck out.
Right.
Because now you've put it in a position where like, yeah, I got this. I fucking got this, babe. YouTube. How do I do this? Because I want to look like I did it.
Right. And even if you don't know, you're going to take the time to learn to know, because I came to you as my man.
Yeah.
I had faith in you. I know your worth, that you're going to step up and get it done. I know I don't need to call somebody else to take care of the shit in my life.
Yeah. That's got another $50 super chat. Mm-hmm. Lorraine said, thank you for sharing your viewpoints and knowledge, pizzas. Thank you for being you. Peaches, thank you for being you.
Thank you.
That last one was good.
I know. That's why I asked you if you were ready for it.
Yeah, I wasn't. I thought I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. That the opportunity for your man to show you that he's capable for a young man in early 20s, mid 20s, it's never had any real life experience. It's on their own trying to do the life thing. You know how easy it would be for a young lady to call her dad, or to call an uncle or a cousin that's older that they
or
know,
a brother.
Right. That's you're showing that you believe that your significant other is capable of handling life. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. Like
it also shows that you value their worth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to think about. Those small things really fucking matter.
They do.
I really do get hung up on words.
Yeah.
That's just the way my brain works. That's a lot. That's I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm trying so fucking hard to keep up. I get hung up on things and like.
I feel like I'm throwing too much at you to process.
No, I'm enjoying the shit out of this.
Okay.
It's going to give me a lot to think about over the next few days. Mm-hmm. That capable thing is something that I would have never thought about either. I know that I have a limited, like I'm not a handyman.
Right.
But I got money. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if I can fix it or not, because I can afford to pay someone to do shit. Like all the electrician shit that's in here, I could have YouTubed that.
Right.
And I could have done it and it maybe not burnt the house down and possibly not electrocuted myself in the process. Mm-hmm. But you weren't like, babe, I know you can do this. I was like, we need the hot tub fucking outlet hooked up, so call an electrician, and I just did it.
Yeah.
But if you were like, I don't know, just anything that you were ever to ask me to do, I would figure that shit out because I don't want to look less than to you.
Right. And
you believing that I'm capable of something comes back to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
That belief in that confidence.
That's the encouragement.
Yep. Did you drop your pencil?
No, I thought I heard something fall, but I was fucking with the back of my notebook, like fanning it. Could have just been the sound of my notebook. But you're right. That is the full circle of showing your partner that they have worth and capabilities in your own life, is showing the encouragement. And even if they don't know how to fix what's going on with the sink, they're going to YouTube that shit.
Yeah.
And now they're going to learn something, and they're going to increase their self-worth, and they're going to be like, I got my lady.
Yep. It's wild. What else you got on there? Because I can tell you're on the last page.
It is the last page, yeah. When you request, it gives them the choice to love you.
Yes.
Love is always a choice, and that is what makes it more meaningful than demanding of your partner.
That's a lot to take in too, because it's very easy for people to fulfill demands just because they don't want to disappoint or
Or they don't want to hear it.
don't want to hear it, versus doing it as a request and it being a choice to love you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot too.
So when you request, your spouse is more likely to choose to respond in a positive way that makes you feel loved versus in when you nag at them.
Okay.
So, for those of you who struggle with verbalizing words of affirmation, I have homework for you.
Ooh, I wasn't prepared for that either.
If your partner's love language is words of affirmation and that's what they need to have their love tank filled, you need to get a notebook. And anytime you hear some type of word of affirmation, a lecture about love, if you do your own research into words of affirmation, write down things that you can say to your partner that you think they might like to hear. And have it be a continuous thing. Once a day, write down something you think that your partner might like to hear from you. And then tell them. If your partner says something like, "Oh, I love it when you say that to me," highlight that shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Start paying compliments to them when they are not around.
What do you mean by that?
So, for example, say you're on the phone with my mom and you go, "You know what? Your daughter's fucking killing it. She's doing the home thing, she's doing the mom thing, and she's nailing the podcast. Like, I don't know how the hell I landed her, but I'm glad I did." That's going to get back to me.
Yeah. Yes, it will.
You're going to get full credit for not only complimenting me, but you were also flaunting me.
Yeah.
Showing
I
that
see
you are proud to be my man.
I see that.
I also want you to start paying compliments to your partner. And if they go to respond with a compliment, say no, just say thank you. Accept my compliment. I want nothing in return.
Why?
Because if they pay you back a compliment, that devalues the compliment you just paid to them because they feel obligated to say one back to you. That's not love. That's an obligational transaction.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I understand that. It would be, yeah, because you feel obligated to throw something back.
Right.
Manners, politeness. Yeah.
So if you pay me a compliment and I just say one back to you because you said one to me, not only does it devalue what you just said to me, what I said back to you was just pulled out of my ass.
Yeah. I also think that it's important to not downplay those compliments, which is
Right.
something that we both work on. You know what I mean? Like, especially me, I'm fucking super hard on myself when you say nice shit to me. So do you want to give like examples of things that you could say to your partner for positive affirmation? Actually, if you guys are in the chat right now, you can drop your favorite positive affirmation from your partner in the comment chat, so that people can see those. For people who struggle to do that, I mean, that would be a good. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down.
Right. Another one is leave love notes.
Oh,
If you wake up to go to work before your partner or your spouse does, leave a love note. Because not only is that words of affirmation, that is something they can go back and read over and over and over again.
right. And people hold on to that. And you know what I mean? And it's more than just saying I love you in a text message. You actually took the time to write something down. You had to
Right.
find the pen. You had to find the paper. They have something physical that they can hold on to show that love.
Right.
It's no different than the writing I love you on a napkin and sliding across the table that I was talking about. Would you think that falls into gift giving? Do you think that you could kill two birds with one
Yes.
stone with that?
I would say leaving notes is a form of gift giving.
So if you have somebody that their primary is word of affirmation and their top three somewhere falls in gift giving, you can
I would
kill
combine
two
the
birds with
two,
one
yeah.
stone.
Definitely.
It's a lot to think about. And you are getting to save a memorabilia. So when you're 70 years old and you're looking back on your life,
You have all the little love notes that they left for you.
yeah.
If you are packing your husband's lunch before he goes to work, leave a note in there.
Take a bite out of a sandwich and tell them it's quality control.
Yeah.
Making sure it's not poisonous, because if you're going to go, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Chat saying that it's your show tonight.
My show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you did all the work. This is totally your deal.
That's wild. I was super nervous getting into it.
Yeah.
I was hoping my notes were good enough and detailed enough and I'd be able to ad-lib like you asked me to.
Yeah. I think it's important for us to have conversations like that because it's not bullet points.
Right.
And it allows us to have a free-flowing conversation that we can go off on a tangent and then come back to your notes because it's not just a bullet point.
Right.
I know that positive affirmations for me is a big one. Like hearing it, it's not a love language. Quality time is my highest, but positive affirmations goes a long way for me because I have been told you're never going to be enough. You're stupid. You're going to end up in prison. You'll be dead from a drug overdose. You know, you're a piece of shit. I heard that my whole life.
Right.
So having somebody that is big on positive affirmations and telling me no negative self-talk and telling me that I'm good and I'm smart and you is good, you is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
having that goes a long way for me. And it's not even a matter of making my love meter feel full. It makes me feel competent.
Right.
So that it does fall into that confidence and hope. Like, I am a confident person. Like I know that I have a deep seated fear of failure.
Right.
So I'm going to do everything I can to not fail. And I will look at a failure as a failure only if I don't learn from it in the process. And I think that ability to adapt to those situations and learn and grow, because I'm not going to make that same mistake again, is a contributing factor to my success. But knowing that there's somebody in my corner that has my fucking back like that, and if I get tired, is going to fucking pull my mouth guard out, squirt some shit in my face and be like, come on, motherfucker, remember who you are. Like, let's go. And hype me back up to get me back on my feet to be successful. It makes me not want to let those in the corner down.
Right.
You see it in every boxing movie. You get the fucking hype speech from your coach and you stand up and you're like, all right, let's fucking go. But before they sit down, they're feeling defeated as fuck. Knowing that people believe in you and have that faith and that confidence in your ability goes a long fucking way. So for me, the positive affirmations fall into that category. It's cool for you to flirt with me and tell me I have a cute ass and all that shit. Like it does make me feel good, but it's not the same as, you know, you're a fucking gangster for a dad. Like you kill it in the dad game, or, you know, you're handling all of our finances and I don't have any stress in my life because you're fucking on top of shit. Like those affirmations to me mean so much more than any compliment I'll ever get. It's a big fucking deal.
It is.
Yep.
Well, that was words of affirmation.
You want to get into some super chats?
Yeah.
What are yours? What are your most prevalent words of affirmations for me?
For you.
Or just in general, from me, not for me, from me.
That you say to me?
Yeah, or that I could say to you. What is it that's going, what could I do to like...
When you tell me I'm a badass, that does it for me.
Does it?
It does, yeah. When you recognize everything that I do, not just one section of like you nail cleaning. When you all encompass everything that I do and tell me that I'm nailing it, that does it for me. Because I do feel like, I mean, yeah, there are days where I relax for a little bit and I sit down for 2 or 3 hours, but a lot of the time I feel like it's nonstop for me. I'm waking up, I'm working out, I'm cleaning, I'm cooking, I'm doing laundry, I'm getting clothes put away, picking up the kids from school, doing homework.
Tell me, though, realistically, and I want you to be completely honest, knowing that your day is that busy and you still have time to take the kids for walks and go to the parks and do the podcast, how much do you feel you're accomplishing in life now compared to where you were 2 years ago?
There is not a single day in the last year where I felt like I've done absolutely nothing.
Do you feel like you're doing like one more rep
Oh, yeah.
every single day?
Yeah. Every day. When I know I can get to 10, I'm going to push to 12. And if I can get to 12, I'm going to push to 15. And if I can get to 15, I'm going up in weight.
So, we talked, and I enjoy having our conversations reiterated for the podcast. I do, because we have some profound shit that happens. But there are other conversations that are like, you know, that somebody may find value in that. They may not. We are that one more rep thing is just the way that I explain. If you and I have an hour to get something done and we get it done in 30 minutes, we're going to do extra work for the next 30 minutes because that's what we've allotted ourselves. And it would be very easy to just stop at the 30-minute mark.
Right.
And then take a break and then start our next thing in our next time frame slot to do shit. And I think that we are so far ahead in content, so far ahead in notes, so far ahead in reading, so far ahead in planning, Discord, everything that we've got going on, we have going on because we don't stop at the allotted expectation. Right? So knowing that that's a thing for you, I guess that's what I meant by that, because it's very easy to get caught up in just the mediocrity. Like
Right, and
people
just dig
do
around.
just enough to skate by. Whereas we're like, okay, we have 3 hours left before we get to have movie night for the night. So what are we going to do in the next 3 hours? We can record. We can edit a little bit. Do you want to go work out? Do you want to go to the park and walk? What are we going to do with that 3 hours instead of just sitting on the couch wasting time? And I think that's why we're getting so far ahead with the content and why this is growing so fast, because we are active with the community and we are continuing to grow and do things. And
We also don't really relax.
This is relaxing to me.
I can see that to an extent. I still view this as work.
Yeah.
I could be sitting on the couch with no pants on right now.
I
I'm
mean,
wearing pants, I'm working.
Okay.
So I don't view this as a cool down time. I'm on the clock. And I can understand your point of view, how you do view this as relaxing, because we are sitting here and bullshitting and this is our life.
Right.
I just view it would be different if it were just you and I on the couch watching Fight Club.
Yeah, I get that. I can understand that.
And, us allotting an hour to do something and finishing it in 30 minutes, completing another 30-minute task, give us 30 more minutes at night to spend together.
Right. And we absolutely do.
We do.
And in the event that we're not procrastinating and pushing it off to the next day, and we get everything done today that we have to do today and tomorrow, if we wanted to take a day off, we're not behind.
Right.
Or we can then allot, okay, well, we have all day tomorrow. Let's record for the second half of the day and go take pictures in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now even further ahead going into the next day after that. Like,
when you're able to get ahead like that, you're able to take more time for yourself.
Right.
So if you have 8 hours allotted to work and you finish your work in 5 hours, you can now do 3 hours of tomorrow's work.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow you can do 3 more hours plus another hour because you knocked out some more shit. Yeah. So now you're 4 hours ahead on Friday. You can knock out everything from Friday and Monday, and now you're having a 3-day weekend.
Yeah. So that's what I was asking you with that. When you do those kind of things, how does that make you feel in terms of accomplishments? Because your life is very different now than it was 2 years ago.
It makes me feel like I'm on my shit.
Do you feel like you're leveling up?
Oh, yeah. I am not, I don't do well when I sit stagnant.
Yeah, I don't either.
If I sit stagnant and I don't do anything, I fall into a depression, and it's just a continuous cycle of me not getting anything done.
Mm-hmm.
So when I recognize I'm not doing anything, that's when I know I need to do more, because if I let myself get sloppy, there's no easy coming back from it.
How hard was it for you to go to Tennessee for those 4 days? Because we worked on the way up and back.
Right.
But we still had 3 days of downtime.
It was hard. When we went and saw the cows and we went back to the hotel room and we sat there for 6 hours, I felt absolutely useless.
Yeah.
I took a bath and I'm like, we could be recording right now.
I did the exact same thing. Yep. We could be studying. We could be talking. We should have brought the podcast stuff. Yeah. All right. Let's get into some super chats real quick, because I know that people are trying to get out of here. We've been on for a little bit. Okay. Athena Knight said, I think a wound can be deep or shallow given to you by someone else. If my partner gave me a small scratch, even with stitches, if I keep scratching it, it will never heal. Love this, and no one can read minds. Absolutely.
Yep.
Danielle 999 said 467. I'm making it to 500. Oh, she's squatting.
Holy shit.
Almost to 500 squats. Zeke, $5. I learned more from you guys in 2 weeks than I did in 20 years. Zeke, you're my homeboy, bro. I appreciate who you are as a person.
Yeah, me too.
And I fucking mean that. Like, I 100% believe that if it wasn't for you and Jen A, Discord would not be what Discord is.
Yeah.
And we fucking owe you guys a ton of gratitude, and know that we talk about you off of Discord in real life, and you both have a special place in our hearts. We fucking mean that.
Yeah. I genuinely enjoy speaking with Zach in the chat.
Yep. Lorraine said, thank you for being such teachers, as redundant as it is.
You read that one.
As it is, maybe to, yeah, okay. Yeah. That was $100 one. I wasn't sure. He put it back in here. Zoe said, I asked for help. He says, I've been at work. I'm tired. Well, maybe he is. Do you want to talk about that real quick before we keep reading?
Yeah. If he's coming home from work and within the first 10 minutes, the first thing you hit him with is, I'm having issues and you need to fix them for me. I've been working all day. He needs that decompression time. If he is the only person who can help you, give him that time. Say, hey, babe, I missed you. I can't wait to spend the evening with you. Let him go shower, get changed, take off the clothes that he's been working in and get in something comfortable. Let him sit on the couch for 5 minutes and then sit down and say, hey, babe, I'm really going through it today. Do you think we can have a conversation? Like, I need your support right now. And that gives him the option to choose to love you in that moment, or he can reject you. And if he rejects you, then you can say, that kind of hurts my feelings. You know, I let you come home. I let you decompress. I've been waiting for this all day, and it was really hard for me to not just hit you with it when you walk through the door. I really need some attention right now.
Yeah. So I asked for help, and he says, I've been tired. I've been at work. I'm tired. I understand that it's stressful being a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
You have a lot of mental exhaustion that comes in, way more than physical. And there's a difference in mental exhaustion and physical exhaustion. You can be mentally exhausted and force your body to do shit. You can be physically exhausted and have the mind power to do a whole lot of shit, but physically you just don't want to fucking move.
If you can't move your body, you can't get anything done.
Right. And if you work in the AC and you work in the sun, Those are two different fucking exhaustions. You guys need to be sympathetic to your partners.
Right.
And I'm not saying that every man that claims to be tired has had a rough day. He could be sitting at a fucking desk drawing all day and be mentally exhausted. It's not the same thing as somebody who works outside.
Right.
I've done those roofing jobs. I've done landscaping. I've been outside in the Florida sun doing tree work.
Oh yeah, that's not fun.
Those days when I come home, sometimes I'm eating dinner in the truck on the way and I'm going to fucking bed when I get home. That physical exhaustion is rough. You guys need to have some sympathy and like work together. And if you know you need him to do something at night when he gets off, tell him in the morning before he's tired. So he knows, because he's going to not work as hard in the day to make sure that he's got enough in the tank when he goes home to take care of what needs to be taken care of, instead of coming home fucking exhausted, wore the fuck out with nothing left in the tank and then have to do some shit.
Right.
You guys need to love each other. And it does come down to loving your partner. Both sides of that. It comes down to love. Jen Mittner said, not much, but a thank you for all you do. It's $1.99. Everything fucking helps.
It does.
I appreciate it. James Markle, squats for $4.99. Squats. It has to be even numbers. LOL. Y'all are amazing and have helped me mentally so much. Keep it up. I'm going to be here for the long run. Another one from James. What people don't understand a lot is your partner's perception is your reality. Ooh. That's where you have to come from when dealing with arguments. That's profound as fuck.
Yeah.
Because you have to take yourself out of your standpoint of feeling attacked to understand what their reality looks like to be able to have that discussion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not validating with empathy. You're pacifying somebody.
Right.
And that's
that's
very...
you going into an argument for defense instead of hearing.
Yep. Jenny Castleman. What if your spouse wants you to try harder at the thing that you are doing before you ask them for help?
I need you to repeat that to me.
What if your spouse wants you to try harder at the thing that you are doing before you ask them for help? That can be healthy. It can be healthy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with trying to give it your all before asking for somebody for something. I'm that way with my kids, my adult kids. If they need something from me, I want to know you've exhausted all fucking avenues before you ask me for shit.
Right.
Normally it's money, obviously, but I want to see that you can do it. Now, when it comes to you and I, if you are fucking run down or you can't figure something out and you ask me to do it, it's not a big deal. It's not. If you've attempted it, it's really not a big deal because you did fucking try before you passed it off to me as one more thing that I got to do. This comes down to the love thing too. It really does. Like if you love your partner and they love you and you guys are working as a team to get things done, it should never be about making the other person struggle. It really should be about working together to get shit done.
Right.
Perfect example of this is I fucking hate building furniture. If we buy something and it comes in a box and I have to put it together, I'm going to be mad by the time I'm done with it. The instructions are never clear. Shit's all over the place. It's never the way that I would build it. And I get angry.
You do.
I get every fucking time.
Yeah.
And after for those computer desks, for example, after I built one, I was fucking cursing up a storm and you're like, babe, let me help you. And you did. And we had fun building the second one. We talked and joked around and I passed gas a lot and we laughed at my farts and it was an intimate moment. I will never forget building those desks.
Yeah.
But you could have just been like, nope, he's the man. He's got this. You really put a couple of screws in and got him started.
I really
for me.
did nothing.
But we then did it together. You know what I mean? That's a big deal.
Before you move on, when it comes to him saying, try harder if you're asking for help, are you half-assing? Is that something you're known to do? If you half-ass something, knowing you don't want to put in the hard work for it, and you go get him when the shit gets hard, and you make him do the hard work, I would also be more inclined to say, okay, try a little bit harder before you come and get me.
I can see how that would cause conflict in the house.
Yeah.
Especially in my scenario, because I am an all or nothing person.
Right.
If you're going to sit down and do something, give it everything you fucking have. Don't do it a little bit and be like, oh, this is too hard.
Right.
I don't,
And if there's a constant interruption of having to stop what I'm doing to go and help you when I know you're capable of doing it, but you don't want to.
Ooh, that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
If I'm in the middle of something and I have to stop what I'm doing to come do what you should be doing, I'm like, Jesus, give me strength.
I noticed that the other day when I was like, hey, can you help me with these weights? And you walked in the door and you were like, really?
No, that doesn't count. You're in the weight room. You're working out. You don't get to call me from in the house and make me walk to the other property to fucking put weights on a bar for you just so you don't have to get up.
Can you come put these weights on the bar for me? I didn't sugarcoat it. I wasn't like, babe, I need help. I need you to come out here right now. I literally said,
I walked in there.
Can you come put these weights on the bar for me?
Did you really just text me to come out here and change your weight for you? And you were like, it's hard to get up.
Well, first off, you opened the door and you were super shitty. And I was like, wow, okay.
Oh,
yes,
man.
I did just do that.
It's so funny. It's stupid when you think about it. In the moment, I was like, I can't fucking believe she just texted me and asked me to walk over here and put 10 pounds on the fucking bar for her.
You didn't even do the 10 pounds. You did 5 pounds.
Did I
on each
really?
side, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to correct you because you were already frustrated. I just thanked you and you went about your way.
So stupid. Jen A said, love from the Discord. You guys are amazing. Andrea Ferguson said, love this supportive community. Kitty Spade just sent a lemon lime emoji. I don't know what that is.
Sprite.
I mean, yeah, technically. Alicia Marie said, you are both amazing. Thank you for helping me think straight and do better. Danielle True said, woohoo to record breaking views. Ashley Dawn Timson, I'm very young. My partner and I are 20 years old and we live together. We already have a great relationship, but this makes me realize it could be even better. Thank you so much for this conversation. That was a $20 one.
Everything can always be better.
Yes. When you think that you no longer have room to improve and grow, you've already failed.
Yeah, you're dying at that point.
Yeah. I truly believe that. I don't know. I know a little bit about everything, but I really don't know shit.
Right.
I don't. And there's always going to be somebody that can teach me something, even if it's the wrong way to do something. Mm-hmm. So you always listen. You always listen. You don't have to heed the advice, but listen, because it may hit you a year down the road. Be like, oh, that motherfucker said this. That actually makes sense now, you know?
Right.
Yep. Samantha Hartley said, you both are amazing. Neither of you are perfect, just human, yet you show us how important communication and being tuned in together with your partner is. This is my first live. Much love. We are blessed to have you both. Andrea Castillo, y'all are amazing, impacting lives. Natalie Grassman, advice for being anxious when their voice is stern.
Dig deep into yourself and ask you, why does it make you anxious?
I would need an example of what they're doing. Because being stern and having a conversation and putting your foot down could be setting a boundary.
Right.
It could be not letting somebody overstep your boundary.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of what ifs and how do you mean that? So like, I don't...
Too broad of a question.
It's very broad of a question. If you're still in the chat, Natalie, rephrase that and send it back so that I can do that again. Zeke, $49. We support you too. Much love from Patreon. I don't know if that was an earlier one that he just redid or not. Angela Cooper got an early access. Michaela, the shirts look awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Amanda Barrett, I'm so excited for another live. I love these. Michaela, again, love being VIP on Patreon. Discord is amazing.
You know what would help you with that squinting?
Him to post it full size instead
Your
of a little itty bitty
glasses.
teeny tiny box.
Your glasses.
Ashley Dawn Timpson said, I was struggling with my mental health the other night, and my partner looked me straight in the eyes and said, you are getting better even when you don't see it. That's positive affirmations.
That's huge.
Those are the affirmations that mean the most to me, because you are fucking recognized, and all of the hard work that you're putting in, people see.
Yeah.
And people may not always they may not always tell you that. Like, people don't want to see other people grow. The people that love you want to see you fucking blossom.
Right.
The people that really secretly,
Have a vendetta against you.
right. There's one and I'm sure Zeke probably knows this, and if he doesn't, somebody else in the chat is going to. But there's a psalm where he talks about anointing the head with oil, and you will sit me down in front of my enemies. You will anoint my head with oil. The scripture goes on. But in that phrase, what he means by that is, I'm going to sit you down at a table in your household and anoint your head with oil, and you're going to fucking see your enemies. You're going to see the ones who really have love for you and who don't. If you guys know what scripture I'm talking about, please put it in the chat, because I would like to discuss that with you after we're done.
Before you go on, another thing, you asked me what are words of affirmation I wanted to hear from you. Validation that the inner work I'm doing is visible in reality.
Yeah, I try to do that anyways.
Yeah.
I really do try to do that.
I
Because,
know. I'm just letting you know that's a big one for me.
okay. So it's not saying that you're not saying that's something I don't
Yeah,
do. That's
I'm not
something
saying
that's
you're
your big
lacking.
one. Okay.
That's something like when you say that to me, that's like a punch to the gut. I instantly want to cry because that's just massive validation for me.
We've talked about the time that you came into Poppin' and you had your head to the ground and how I made you cry that night, and like that was the first time anyone's ever said that to you. For me, knowing who you were then to who you are now, you are not that woman.
Yeah.
At all. Like, there is an air of confidence about you that makes other people look to you that you didn't have then.
Right.
And that says everything about your inner working. And people don't know what I'm talking about. This is purely for you. This has nothing to do with them, but when you go out in places, people flock to you and like they're drawn to you now, like a moth to a flame. And that was, I mean, you may have always had that happy persona, but who you are now, like you're comfortable with it. And if you're not comfortable with it, boy, you fucking fake it with the best of them. And there's not ever a sheepish look at the ground, aw shucks. Like you are smiles and you are indulging and you are outgoing. And you can tell now that who you are now compared to who you are then, you have that confidence that most people would kill for.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem fake. It doesn't seem like it's inauthentic. It's a big deal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Shelly Mole said, found out my man's main love language is acts of service and not words of affirmation, still a top 3. And the other day I took care of tidying up his beard, cleaning nose hairs, LOL, and just doing things solely for him.
I love that.
I have to trim my nostril hairs with cuticle scissors because when I stick that clipper up there, I can feel my brain go,
You like,
I have to snip because
snip. I thought you were like pulling that shit.
fuck
I'm like,
that.
are you kidding me?
that would be like those Q-tip things that you see on TikTok. There's no fucking way. I'm not ripping my hair out. I'm never ever ripping my hair out. That's just not a thing.
Yeah.
Lorraine sent another $50, said, never doubt yourself within this podcast, Peaches. To Be a Better Nation fam. Appreciates both of you. Peaches
Thank you.
Podcast. Hashtag Peaches Podcast.
Oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
That's a thing.
It's not my podcast. Don't do that, please. This is our podcast. It's To Be Better. I appreciate the sentiment. It truly means a lot, but that really that's too much for me.
Mercedes Spencer said, started budgeting to get into the Patreon. Love that. Death's Clan. What's up, brother? Hey, Chris and Peaches, sorry I'm late. Went and had dinner with my wife and kids, teaching my son how to be a gentleman, hold the door open for mama and his sister, and he is 3. I am trying to teach him how to properly treat a woman. You cannot start that too fucking early. Because when that becomes ingrained in their behavioral patterns, it will be an automatic decision that they will just do.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I heard our son last night.
Did you? Did you hear that?
Yeah. He was like, you want to take the trash out?
Yeah, he came up to me and he said, Chris, this is full. And it was only half of the recycle, but he was ready to grab that bitch and take it to the thing. And I was like, bro, we're halfway there, bro. Halfway there. You got to just, when that one gets full, we'll grab one each and we'll take it out. And he's like, okay. He was so wanting to take the fucking garbage out last night.
You know, he also opens the door for Sissy and I.
Yeah.
When we get to daycare, he will pull open the door. He'll stop us and be like, I got it.
Yeah.
And I will tell him, what a little gentleman, little man.
I love that.
Look at you holding the door open for ladies.
Yeah. And at 5 years old, he just turned 5 in February. He understands the gentleman shit. And
he does.
He gets it. And like, he's using phrases now. Like, I just want to be a good man. Mm-hmm. And like, that fucking melts me.
Yeah.
It's so fucking huge. Zeke said, the tone of your words says almost as much as the words you choose. The same voice at different pitches can comfort or start an avalanche.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Ferris Jones, just found y'all. What an awesome inspiration. Jasmine wrote, all right, I'm going to get super sappy here, but I am so glad to be part of this family. Peaches, thank you for being my friend. Hee To Be Better Nation. Chelsea Prince, y'all are saving my marriage. We have been together 10 years, 2 kids. While I work full time, he stays at home right while in college. It's been hard. Y'all are reminding us we are each other's why heart thingy. We're reminding that you two are each other's why.
That didn't read right to me.
It did to me.
It's also an audio thing. So.
Yeah, it did to me. That we're reminding them that they are each other's why for existing and doing the things they do. In 10 years, that's a decade.
Yeah.
So also for you guys who are in here still, there's still over 500 of you. When you were talking time frame and you say 10 years, it does not have the impact as saying a decade. Mm-hmm. So I'm intentional with that. I know that you wrote 10 years, but to say a decade, you have been married for a decade. That's a quarter of my life. Mm-hmm. It's a third of yours. When you look at that, that's a long fucking time.
That is.
And if you've done that time with somebody and you guys are still living for each other and growing and trying to be the best version of you for each other, that's fucking huge. That's everything. It's beautiful. You guys are killing it. Danielle said, you guys have changed so many lives. A simple click of a button. My whole world has been rocked in a good way. Thank you for all you do. Zeke said Psalm 23.
Oh, Zeke and Clutch.
Yep. Julie Rock, you deserve cookies tonight, Peaches.
Oh, I know we have Oreos sitting on there. That's all I needed, Julie. Thank you.
Kitty Spade has become a subscriber to the YouTube. Theory Man Dan, that's all I can afford, but I hear a lot of about self-worth. How do you have that? I find myself bouncing between feeling full of myself and worthless. That's big. Having humility and having confidence are two different things. Mm-hmm. I know that I'm a competent man. There are a lot of things that I am very good at doing, and I'm not boastful. I could sit here and talk about all of my successes and shit over and over and over again, and that could be our entire fucking thing.
Right.
There's an ugliness in that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to have your successes rubbed in their face. Right, exactly. Jinx. Get on my fucking head. But nobody wants to hear the woe is me, the pity me either. Right. So if you have that moment of feeling full of yourself and then still feeling worthless, you're walking a fine line of humility. That's a good thing, because you should have that self-worth. There's a difference between being cocky and confident.
Yeah.
If you're a fuckface and you're egotistical, it's very different than knowing that you're capable of doing things. You can always tell a capable person. People that know their shit, they're not boastful. They just know. I have friends that do tradesmen, and when I ask them questions, they're not rubbing it into my face and trying to give me long-winded examples to make me not be able to follow along. They don't have to. They know, that's not a problem. I can do this, this, and this, and it's done. And they don't have to give me the crazy to make themselves sound smarter than they are. You know what I mean? Like that's where that line gets crossed. I would also like to say that it's good that you have that, because that self-awareness is going to keep you from ever being a cocky fuckface.
Right.
It's just all there is to that. I don't like ego.
Right.
The id, the entire thing in that is a problem for me. And like, I believe when it comes to artists, ego kills talent. When you think that you have nothing left to learn, you think that your shit doesn't stink, you're not going to progress anymore. So knowing that you always have room to grow is going to keep you humble and healthy.
Those two are also abide for attention. The boastful is, I need your attention. I need your validation that I've made it in life and that you want what I want, what I have. And the pity me is, give me your attention.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me that I'm worth something, that I should get off of my ass and go accomplish what I want to accomplish, but I can't do it without your support. When you're in the middle of those two, you don't need attention for either. You know your self-worth, but you also know that you don't know everything, and you're going to continue to grow. Your own self-attention is going to be enough to feed you wanting to succeed more, but it's also going to be like, okay, you have to keep yourself in check.
That line is the healthiest. That is the epitome of self-awareness and being healthy for you.
Yeah.
Because you don't need the validation from other people on either side of that. You are self-sustaining at that point, and
Right.
you know your worth. That was another profound thing for me just now. That was good, because a lot of people fall one side of the fence or the other, and then there's those people that have a chip on their shoulder, put their head down, and go swinging for the fences. Like,
Right.
that's a big one.
I'm going to get what I want for me,
Yeah.
not for the world to validate me.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck if you're standing here when we're done or not. Yeah. Lorraine said we put cute notes in a jug and grab one as we head to work in the morning to make us smile.
What if you grab your own note?
Ooh.
Do you guys have separate jars?
Attaboy. Go past me for looking out for future me.
Pull one out and be like, you a bad bitch today. I know.
Sarah Smolinski got an early access thing. Wow, that's a really horrible screenshot. Jenna King, recently I found your podcast and made efforts to invite my spouse to watch and learn with me, but he refuses to show interest in bettering us even though we've been struggling. I feel unseen, unheard.
That
Thoughts?
sucks. That really sucks. When you want to salvage something and actually make it work and your significant other doesn't, that hurts. That also shows you where you stand.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with that.
So all you can do is work on yourself and hope that he sees that you're becoming happier and want to step up. He could also see that and get bitter and spiteful and hate that you're growing without him and flourishing without him.
Yeah. What does that say about somebody's self-worth? And what does that say about somebody's willing to serve? Servitude. What does it say about they're willing to be a servant to their partner? I don't know how to word that. My brain is there. It's just the words aren't. Because if you came to me and we've talked about this, if you came to me and said, "Hey, I think that if we listen to this podcast, this could make our lives better," even if it's like some bullshit like therapist nonsense that I know I'm not going to enjoy, I'm going to at least try.
Right.
Because if I give it a wholehearted effort, I'm all right, I'm going to go do cardio and I'm going to put this in and I'm going to listen to it and we can talk about it when I'm done. And I give it the full 2 hours or hour, 45 minutes or whatever it is. And I really invest in that. At the very least, I am showing you that I love you enough that I'm willing to try to do something that's going to make you happy. Right? You're giving me a request for my love and I'm going to show you that I'm willing to do that.
Right.
The idea of not listening to something simply because you asked me to, and me not believing it could make me better, knowing that it could. That's the difference between an entrepreneur and a worker.
Yeah.
That's a boss mindset versus an employee mindset. And I fucking mean that, because the difference between people who are highly successful and those who aren't are their ability to learn. If I read a book and one sentence stands out to me and I get something profound from it, and it took me 3 days to read that book, that was not a wasted 3 days. I fucking learned something from it.
Right.
No offense to this woman, but the idea of having somebody in my life that is not wanting to level up their life, I don't want you around me.
Right.
And I don't mean that to shit on him. I will cut people out of my life if they're where they were 10 years ago. I don't want stagnant motherfuckers around me. I'm trying to grow. And if I'm trying to grow and I'm evolving and I'm learning and getting better, and you are fucking complaining and holding me back, you are a detriment to my success on all kinds of levels. I have a huge fucking problem with that. And I'll have a talk before I cut you out of my life. Like, look, I'm growing and I'm evolving and I'm ready to take this next step in my life. And I'm looking back at you way the fuck back there. Like, are you coming or what?
Right.
Because we have different hiking paces and I'm not fucking waiting on you. I have a goal to get to.
You should also hit them with, I want to do this with you. I want us to be on the same hiking trail, going the same pace and doing this shit together. But I'm not going to let you drag me down.
Yeah. So
you can either catch up and we can do this together, or I'm going to go on my own.
Yeah. And you're going to have to catch up while I'm still moving forward, because I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michaela Nelson sent us $1. Michaela Johnson said for $3, tips on making him more comfortable to talk bad history. So do you mean more comfortable in terms of opening up emotionally? Do you mean more comfortable to talk for positive affirmations? Do you mean... What are you asking me? Because there's a difference between throwing compliments and being able to express your emotions, because being able to be vulnerable takes time and trust and a foundation that has to be cemented. And it could be a very simple thing that you've done or may have done wrong that could set that progress back very far. And sometimes people don't realize they do it. If somebody says something to you and you laugh about it and they're being vulnerable and you're trying to make a jokey joke, they may never open up to you again, because that was them actually trying to have a heart to heart. You have to be very careful with people's emotions.
Right.
If somebody's opening up to you and telling you who they are, and you are not receptive to that the way that they need you to be receptive to that, there's a strong possibility they're going to shut the fuck down, and that's going to be the end of it. I would like to know more on what you asked.
I would say loyalty also falls into the trust.
Loyalty, yeah.
If a man divulges something to you emotionally, and next Thursday you go, "Oh my God, girl, you won't believe what he just told me last week."
Yeah. Yeah, you'll never get that.
Yeah.
There's a comfort in knowing that with us, I don't have to worry about you divulging my shit to other people, because I've never heard you gossip about other people. And I know that people come to you with their problems and they talk to you in our personal lives, and like, you don't come to me about that shit.
Right.
We don't do that. So, and when somebody comes to me and I know they're confiding in me, I'm not going to tell you what they said. And it's not that I'm hiding things from you.
It's your guys' conversation.
Right.
I don't have to be privy to it.
Right. And if they wanted you to know, they would tell you, or they would tell me, like, you can talk to Chris about this if you want to. And like, I'm not going to, if I thought that was going to put you and I at odds, I wouldn't take part in that conversation with them.
Good.
Right.
I appreciate that.
But that's a valid thing. So like, when somebody says something to me and you're like, what's that? And I'm like, so-and-so said, or it's telling me about their life. I can't divulge it. You never go, well, that's fucked up. Like, there's a respect there. Like, that I'm loyal to this conversation and I'm not going to go and gossip about it. And I know you do the same thing. And because of that, I am not worried about opening up to you, because in the event that I die, I know that you're going to die with my secrets. You're not going to go and blabber all my shit if I'm no longer here, or if you hate me, because you're not doing it to people now.
Right.
I'm seeing that. You're not that person that's going to be hurt and then be spiteful. And there's a comfort in that for me.
Before you move on, saying, oh, fuck, what did you say?
Just now?
No, I got it back now. So you having a conversation, I go, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Sean. He's going through it right now. Okay, dope.
Right.
I'm not going to ask you, oh, what is he going through? When you pressure your partner to divulge information that you don't need to know about a conversation they're having with somebody else and they're going through it, you're now putting your partner in a very fucked up position. Because now, not only are you two at odds, if they do divulge that information, that person's living thinking it's only between you two. Now it's between you two and his wife. And now it's between you two, his wife, and her sister.
Yeah. And now everybody fucking knows.
Right.
Yep.
And now you're going to have to explain why everybody and my sister knows when it should have just been a one-on-one conversation.
Yep, absolutely. Chelsea Prince said, y'all are saving my marriage, 10 years together, 2 kids, my career, him home with kids while in college. Oh, that was, I don't know why that one came through twice. Jordan F, $20. Sunday, my husband cooked dinner and I stayed with him in the kitchen and we danced together and laughed.
I love that.
He texted me the next morning, dancing with you in the kitchen was so fun. It's really those small moments that matter. Heart. We have done that.
We have.
I came in, had my phone on, played our Elvis Can't Help Falling in Love, set it on the counter and just slow danced with you in the kitchen. And you cried.
I did cry.
You were like, I can't believe that just happened. That's, that's the kind of shit that people dream about, blah, blah, blah. And now that's her song.
Yeah.
And we were watching something on TV the other night and I was half asleep on the couch. I'm like, hey, that's our song.
It was, yeah.
And
I looked at you and I'm trying to hold back tears. I'm like, it is our song.
Yeah. Those moments matter. And those moments are going to be the ones that you remember as like those quality, like core moments with your partner.
That's going to be the shit I tell my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. Michaela Nelson, forgot to add my message with my super chat. My husband and work literally opposite schedules. How do I recommend to have intimacy?
initiate intimacy. If you guys are working opposite shifts and you're only at home for 2 to 3 hours together, go sit on his lap.
Yeah, do that. Yes.
When you're passing by him, whisper something dirty in his ear and just keep walking. Not only is going to be like, holy shit, she just said that to me. He's going to be like, holy shit, she said it, and kept walking.
Walk up behind him, get real sexy in his ear and be like, I'm here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. You fucker.
For those of you who haven't heard that story, he was having a really hard mental day. Like, you were fucking going through it. We were in the gym with the 2 other people that we work out with. And I was trying to think of ways to make you feel better. I was like, what can I do to solve his problems? And it dawned on me, there's nothing I can do but make you laugh. So you were standing there and you were on your phone. You were vigorously doing whatever you were doing. And I was like, I'm here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Right in my ear.
And it took you a minute and then you lost it.
Yeah.
That changed the whole tone of your day.
Yeah. This, the way that you guys have intimacy is to not schedule it. Mm-hmm. It's to make it authentic. If your partner's walking by and you're passing each other, it doesn't matter if you're in a hurry or not. That 30 seconds of intimacy is not going to slow you down that much. Mm-hmm. You are going to get stopped at a red light longer than it's going to take you to have a moment with your spouse.
Right.
So in the event that like you're feeling rushed or you're getting ready to walk out the door, you don't ever rush the intimacy. You never rush the kids, or you never rush the kisses, even if the kids are standing on the front porch like, come on, mom, let's go. We have that 30 seconds of just togetherness. Mm-hmm. It could be an Eskimo kiss on the nose. It could be the forehead touch or a hug. It could be an inappropriate thought or a comment. It could be, in-depth conversations while we're driving. The intimacy is not just doinking.
Right.
Anything else on that one?
Nope.
Okay. Corrine Lonnie. I probably ruined that one. My fiance started watching your TikToks today. I came out of our room. He was doing the dishes with tears in his eyes while listening to them. We embraced, and it made me yearn for our relationship again. I need more information on that.
That's going to make me cry.
What was he listening to that gave him tears?
Right.
Come on. This is the biggest fucking cock tease I've gotten all day.
I was just thinking that.
Ass. Don't do that. I need so much more information. I feel like I just watched the trailer for like the most epic movie ever and it just ended.
Right.
And I didn't get the name of the movie.
Yeah. That feels accurate.
Y'all's advice, I'm sorry, Jenna King. Y'all's advice is truly incredible. I emailed you guys mid-March to further discuss, and I can't wait to hear your feedback. Happy to give more details when you get to it. If needed, I admire you both. If you emailed us in March, you're probably 250 to 300 emails behind. I don't know what to tell you. We are fucking trying.
Oh, it's a lot.
Holy shit, do the emails come through.
It's a lot, yeah.
Zeke wrote, when you speak ill about your spouse to other people, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yep. Damn, that was a good way to phrase that.
Yep. We talk about that a lot, not talking your personal life to other people. Mm-hmm. If you and I were not together and I was in a relationship with someone else and I came to you and I said some shit and you said some shit back and my shit was foul and you played onto that foul conversation, my negativity is going to leave me and then reverberate back to me and yours on top of it. So I'm now going to be looking at this entire situation from a whole new standpoint of animosity instead of just that little bit of negativity. People will feed that.
Right.
And people always have an agenda. Whether good or bad, there's an agenda there. I don't believe in doing that shit. And like, I don't want to talk about our shortcomings. We can talk about our shortcomings in private, and we can discuss like, hey, that was really fucked up. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. Here's how we get better.
Right.
But even after we resolve shit, unless there's a lesson that we can teach other people, we're not fucking having that conversation ever again.
Yeah.
I don't want to poison the well. I enjoy drinking this. Like,
Before you move on, I saw a TikTok. It was a shorter clip from a YouTube video. And a woman was confronting her boyfriend, and she was like, I know you cheated on me. He was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, I hired somebody to private message you, and you guys hooked up.
oh, I remember this.
Yeah. And he was like, that never happened. Or like it was a class or something. Like they knew each other in real life, and she paid her to seduce
Right.
him. And he was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I never cheated on you. That never happened. And his girlfriend's adamant. Like, I have proof. I know what you did. They brought the chick on, and she was like, yeah, I lied.
Yeah, because you don't deserve him.
She was like, you hired me to catch him cheating, and I see his worth, so I lied to you so I can get him.
Yep. Ooh, I remember that. That was a good one.
Yep.
That's good. And that we need to react to that, because there's a whole lot of discussion that can happen to that. Holy
Yeah.
shit. I forgot all about that TikTok. Lorraine just said $25 super chat. Hope your adoptive mom is doing better. Let me tell you guys something real quick. I got a phone call from my mom after we asked that prayer circle, and her stomach started moving.
Yeah. It's been months.
Yeah. And when I tell you guys, like, I don't want to get too involved in my mom's medical shit,
Right.
but she's having a lot of issues with things flowing through her intestines, and they were not moving. And she was in the hospital. Her heart was not working properly because everything was backed up and pushing.
Yeah.
And we started praying, and things started moving. And after months, like, fucking, I love you guys.
Medications,
Yep.
doctors looking, specialists. It's crazy.
Tips for females in committed, healthy relationships that experience sexual anxiety from Taylor Chris. Tips for females in committed, healthy relationships that experience sexual anxiety.
What are you getting anxiety about? Is it the act? Is it initiating? Is it wanting the desire? Is it being desired? That's too broad. I need to know what you're anxious about.
You know the amount of emails that we get from people who say that they have a discomfort with their own body, and they don't want to be intimate with their husband because they're uncomfortable with their skin.
Yeah.
I know, I understand the body dysmorphia. I really do. But in that aspect, like, I don't understand how you can get to that or get over that, for that matter. Like, I know that you think I'm attractive. And even if I look at myself as fat bastard from the Austin Powers movies, you think
Right.
that's sexy. So I'm going to run with it. Like, the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to look in the mirror at some point while we're doing the deed and be like, hey. But if you're like, oh yeah, I'm just not going to look in the mirror and just love it. You know what I mean?
So this actually happened with us. There was a point where I refused to take my shirt off during sex. And you noticed.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And
night.
you called me on my shit, and you were like, no, you're taking that shit off. And you were like, why are you doing this? And it was because I was uncomfortable with my body. And I thought I looked absolutely disgusting, and I didn't want you to see me that way. My perception is not your reality. So when you're like, fuck this, like, you're taking your shirt off, we're going to enjoy this time together, you're not going to sit here and be insecure. I was like, damn, okay, so he's attracted to me because I'm confident in myself no matter what. So if I let my insecurities bleed into reality, that can drive a wedge between people. Because when you're insecure about yourself and you don't want to be intimate, you're training your partner to also not be intimate with you.
Yep.
When you find yourself unattractive and you're forcing that on your partner, you're training your partner to find you unattractive.
Yeah. Yeah. You're feeding it negativity bias. AJ said that video was my TikTok that made him cry, but it doesn't say which video it was. Said that it started at the top of your channel. It was your 3-5 TikTok. You made him cry multiple times. The reflection of where he lacks and where I excel made him realize he needs to get back to wherever that was. It ends right there. Laura Smith said, my husband used your content to say that I am his peace and safe space, which is what I've always wanted to provide for him. I had to share heart. Zeke says, praise to him who heals all ailments. Yep. That's it. We're caught up on the super chats. Oh, wait. Taylor Chrissy said, Crystal, I have chronic illness, lots of working through my own changes. I have been doing dialysis treatments at night. So it clearly has changed our sexual life. It's like I'm doing it for the first time. Again, and it's nerve-wracking. I struggle to be fully present, overthinking, and tough to surrender.
Okay. So in that instance, that is all a you thing because he clearly still wants you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through all of this shit and he's like, yeah, that's my fucking woman.
There's a strength in that.
There is. You know, he probably views you as a fucking warrior.
Right.
You're going through everything in life and you're doing dialysis at night.
And still trying to have intimacy or
Right.
sexy time. There's a strength in that. And for men to see it's, you know how easy it is to quit?
Easy.
You know how easy it is to get fucking punched in the dick by life and just be like, all right, man, that's it. I fucking get it. Like, I'm done.
Right.
And to just quit. So take stock in that you're not quitting and that you're still doing the thing that you're doing. And for you to be going through what you're going through and still try to have sexy time with your partner, husband or spouse, whether it's because you feel obligated or because you feel you want to or whatever the case may be, you're still trying.
Right.
That goes a long fucking way. It shows that you're a warrior. And like it shows your man that you still fucking want him.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going through that and you were still trying to have sexy time, I would have to be so fucking gentle with you, and it would definitely make it harder for me because I would know I'd have to like not bend you or
Right.
like
It
lay
would
my
be like
body
after
weight
my
on you.
surgery.
But you better believe we're doing the fucking thing. Like
Right.
the moment you're like, hey, I'm like, let's go, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is a big part of our intimacy. That is a big part of our life. You know what I mean? Like that's,
I think words of affirmation would help her in this situation.
yeah.
Yeah. Knowing that he still finds her sexy and desirable and no matter what life throws at you, you're still my woman. I think that would help her a little bit.
I agree with that last statement. You're still my woman, no
Yeah.
matter what. Yeah, I agree with that. I really do agree with that. Because I would feel the same way if I was going through it and was like really fucked up and you were still trying to be intimate with me, even though I was feeling that way and you were giving me that positive encouragement, it would mean a lot.
Yeah.
I also think that in that scenario, though, having a simple conversation goes a long fucking way.
It does.
Like, you know, if you were to express to him, like, hey, you know, I understand that, like, I'm going through dialysis, which I'm assuming there's ports or tubes. Like, that's something to be self-conscious of. I would be self-conscious of that. But if you were to tell me, like, hey, you had liquid balls.
I did. I had little lady balls.
That had blood in them.
Yeah.
And obviously we weren't being intimate to that point. But if that was a thing and you were self-conscious and you told me about that, I would be like, babe, this is temporary. This is what's necessary to get you to the next phase of your life. I'm not worried about that. Well, you can have some little scars later on in life. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, you're still beautiful to me just because you have this little thing going on right now. This is temporary shit.
Right.
And if it was permanent, we would cross that bridge if that's the case too. It's not going to change how I view you. You know what I
Right.
mean? This one little portion of your body is not you as a whole. Having those conversations in a non-intimate setting where you're just discussing life,
On like a car ride.
you'd be surprised at how your partner really truly views you or your spouse. Jasmine sent it $2 with just hearts on it.
I love her.
He said that we still have 576 people watching. I don't think that
576.
what he said. I don't have the intention of doing another topic tonight.
No, I'm
So
exhausted.
if you guys have some things that you want to discuss or things that you want us to get into, let's just go ahead and like kill that real quick and then we can call it. So if there are questions that are being asked that are relevant, AJ, you can go ahead and send those through and we'll go from there. It's 9:00. We've been live for 2 hours, so.
And an hour of that was me talking more than I'm used to.
That was impressive though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking really did it.
Thank you. I really, I like applying myself to make sure that I am fully prepared for discussions.
Yeah. There was a lot in that tonight, and there's a lot of things I'm actually looking forward to next Thursday now.
Yeah.
I am, because I'm not doing the work on this. I read the book. I know the points that I want to talk about. So you doing what you're doing is it's allowing me to just sit back and I'm the live chat, but
You're
I'm
the
here.
face tonight.
Yep. So I get to. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. You're still the face.
I meant the pretty face, like.
Yeah, you're still the face. I just get to sit over here and have
Yeah.
the discussion. Yeah, you're way hotter than I am.
Stop it.
Lorraine said, "To be a better nation, share and like this. Everyone join the Discord." All right. Caden James Lee recently found you two and just entered a newer relationship, and I've been listening and applying so much I've learned to help build a stronger and healthier relationship than I've ever had before. Love that.
That is dope.
Shy said, "Took me forever to realize that my man will always want me, no matter my insecurity. Realizing this is a me problem and not a him problem."
Yep.
Guys, I tell you all the time, I wish I could fucking take my eyes out so that you can see me from my standpoint. Like, being able to have that that recognition between your partners sometimes really is just a conversation, and you will forget because you're not used to having that fawning over. So it's important to remind your person, and that could be positive affirmations. It could just be simple conversations of like, hey, like you're hot. Like,
Right.
you know, you look really good leaning against that wall. When we took our pictures today, you're like, oh,
I was
you're
losing my
fawning.
damn mind.
Right.
It's like you're doing a boudoir shoot just for me, and you were fully clothed.
It's funny.
I just know what it looks like under the shirt.
Yeah. Zeke said, your body and all its evolutions I hold dear. Our bodies tell the story of our lives, and I celebrate our time together. Amy Hamilton, have either of you ever experienced grief firsthand?
I mean, who hasn't?
So, like,
I've had different levels of grief.
what kind of grief are we talking about? I've had somebody die in my arms. I've had my heart broken. I've been stabbed.
I've grieved my childhood.
I've tons of fucking childhood trauma. What kind of grief are we talking about?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a who had it worse conversation? Like, what kind of grief? I need to know. Inquiring minds would like to know. Shelly Mole, remembering what y'all said about the divider in the couches, I made it a point to sit with my man on the couch that doesn't have one so we can cuddle.
I love that.
Tell me that didn't make you feel like you had intimacy again. Just that one scenario sitting with him on the other side of the couch without that fucking divider. I am telling you that everything in our lives is made to cause division in our houses. I fucking believe that. Could you imagine if trucks still had bench seats? If my Jeep had a bench seat and you could sit next to me instead of on the other side
I'd
of the
be
Jeep.
attached to you.
Yeah, you'd be sitting seat belted up right next to me with your fucking leg against mine, and we'd be cuddle driving. But we don't have that anymore. Now we got a giant console because you got to have a place to put all your shit. Gonna go buy a new couch. They've all got dividers and cup holders and places for your firearm and remotes and all the shit that you put in the console of your couch.
You can charge your phone, which is going to further divide you.
Yeah.
On the couch that's already dividing you.
Yeah, because it's got the charger built into it. Yep,
Yeah.
more division. Yep.
It's crazy when you start viewing things like that as division versus in comfort. It really changes your perspective on it.
Yep. You look at your phone more than you look at your partner. You touch your phone more than you touch your spouse. You are engaged with idiots on the internet more than you are engaged with your spouse. This is a godsend for us
I love this, yeah.
because we sit uninterrupted. Like right now, obviously, I have AJ.
Right.
But when we record for 8 to 10 hours a day and you're reading emails and we're having that back and forth, there's no distractions other than like the random Patreon emails that come through that we talk about.
Or you have something to handle with the business.
Right, but I'm not on my phone playing my game, scrolling TikTok, going to Facebook, going to Instagram, going back to TikTok, going to Facebook, going to Instagram, going back to TikTok,
Right.
checking the bank account, checking the credit card, going back to TikTok.
Carrying useless conversations with somebody else on the internet because you're killing time.
Yep, no Discord, like it's just us. Daz said, would I go about introducing your check-ins to my fiance who is older? I am 25, he is 45, and more stubborn when it comes to emotional conversations. So how would you do that? Go to the check-in video first and foremost and send it to them. On the check-in video, there is a pinned post with all of the questions and the conversation. Send it to them and say, I just came across this. I think this is super dope, and I just want to try it. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to waste 2 hours of your night. The best that's going to happen is we're going to have an intimate conversation. And that's the way that you need to approach it. And if he says no, be like, if you wanted to go fishing and wanted me to go knowing that I don't like fishing, I would go.
Yeah.
I'm only asking for 2 hours of your time. Please just appease me. Make the request.
Right.
Yeah. Pathless Woods, Pathless Woods. The way that these screenshots come are weird. Any advice for someone in their late 20s looking to find a relationship that's deeper than the rampant hookup culture? Then thank you so much for everything you do. Before I answer that, we tried to record episode 16 3 times today before we actually got down to recording it.
Yeah.
Because I went into depth over that. I have a deep-seated concern for where dating culture is going, hookup culture, and the way things are going, that I don't believe that people in their early 20s are going to have healthy relationships probably ever in their lifetime. Truly healthy relationship.
Right.
Whether it be because of hookup culture, whether it be because of selfishness or the inability to communicate or whatever the case may be, I think that the reason that people are drawn to us the way that they're drawn to us is because we have that healthy relationship that people desire. And it took a lot of fucking work to get here, and we are not like most people. So with that being said, go ahead.
It's more than just a lot of work to get here. It's continuous work.
Oh yeah.
It is nonstop work. I know that there will be days where we are having tension or we're having a tense conversation or we're going to be at odds. I know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm mentally prepared for that to happen because I know it's not going to be me and you against each other. It's going to be me and you discussing things to find a solution or to a point that we can understand each other.
Right.
When you are aware that disagreements are going to happen and you're prepared to solve them versus defend yourself and make your points heard, you're going to view them differently.
Yeah. You do. And it hurts different.
It definitely hurts different.
It hurts different because it's very easy to get angry and mask your emotions with anger and fight. It's a lot different to take the accountability and be self-aware, knowing that you made a decision to hurt your person. And you have to accept that in the moment and be like, damn, I really fucked up. I really didn't mean to do that. It hurts different. It fucking does. But our conflict doesn't feel like combat.
No.
It feels like, I don't know. It's an even playing field. Your hurt is my hurt because you're hurt because of something I did.
Right.
And there's an awareness in that otherwise wouldn't be there. So to answer the question, if you're in your late 20s and you're looking for a relationship that's deeper than the hookup culture, don't sleep with people.
Stop using dating apps.
Yeah, don't use. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know anything about dating apps. I would consider Facebook a dating app if you're single, because realistically, you can slide in somebody's inbox or like their images until you get a reaction from them or whatever. But don't sleep with people. Go on dates. Do the courting phase first, right? Like, just be friends. Go to dinner and have conversations without expectations, because when people have expectations, they're gonna fake it. You're going to get a facade of somebody versus who their genuine self is. And when you're on those dates, look at the way they treat the people around you. Go to an expensive restaurant and watch the way the person that you're on a date with treats the servers. If they're shitty to the servers, or they're rude, or they make it seem like they're above this person somehow, you're going to learn a lot about their fucking character real quick, because they're going to be putting on a facade with you and treating everyone else the way they really treat people. Don't sleep with people for a while. Give it 6 months. Give it 10 dates. Give yourself some sort of time frame where it's not a hookup thing. And if people are only adamant about sleeping with you, you're going to weed those people out real fucking quick by not giving them what they want.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you're also going to build a real foundation with somebody, because there's not the, oh my God, the sex is amazing, I can overlook these shortcomings that you're going to have to deal with in 2 years because you overlooked it in the beginning.
Right.
The dating process is a pros and cons checklist. If you're dating for marriage, you should be dating for marriage, not dating for the moment, not dating for not dating for the hookup, not dating for the see you next weekend. Like, it should be looking for longevity, and there's nothing fucking wrong with that. We built a relationship between each other for a year before we had our first official date. Bethany said, as a couple that are putting in the work constantly to make sure there's a great balance of partnership and relationship, it's really refreshing to see another couple speak on this. Thank you. That's what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Julie Rock, Peaches gave 1,000% and gonna sleep good tonight.
I really am. I am so exhausted.
She's gonna sleep real fucking good tonight.
Thank you.
Not yet, but you will be.
I'm preemptively.
Jordan F said, my husband will bring his games into the living room when he knows I just want to read, but still spend our separate quality time together. I get that.
Existing together.
You are existing together. There's nothing wrong with that. If I wanted to play, I don't play video games. I suck at video games. But if I wanted to play video games and you wanted to read, we could totally make that work where we're laying on each other and I'm able to play video games and you're able to read and I can do this. And we can still talk about it while I game. Because I'm not getting that caught up in anything.
Right.
So I love that you guys can view that separate quality time together as still quality time because you're in the same room, because some people can't do that.
Yeah. They have to be engaged with each other for it to be quality time.
Yep. So AJ just said we've jumped over 400 subs since the live, so we're at 33,427.
Wow.
So we definitely crushed the 80. And he said, so what's that not hitting 50K by the 15th? LOL. We'll see, bud. We have 15 days, jump another 20,000 subscribers.
That's a lot of, yeah.
We'll see.
That's a lot.
Mariah wrote, my dog doesn't like you, then I don't. Whoo. Boy, you ain't fucking wrong there. You trust your animals and your kids. If your kid's like, I don't like that motherfucker, there's a reason for it.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley Dawn Timpson, I'm 20 and chose not to sleep with anyone until I met my partner at 18. Best decision I've ever made. You waited.
That's good.
Yep. We are completely caught up. We're going to give it like 5 more minutes and I'm going to probably want to call this.
I am so tired.
I can see it. And I want to eat those cookies and I want to sit down on the couch and just vibe for a little while.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else that you want to discuss before we call it a night? We're going to be doing the t-shirt drop probably in the next 10 days. I'm waiting on the packaging for the shirts to come before I do it because I don't want to put them up have them all sell and then not ship them for a week because that makes me look like an asshole.
Right.
So I want to be able to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. We do have stickers. I'm fucking super pumped about the stickers. They haven't come yet, but they shipped.
Yeah.
And depending on how this shirt release does, will determine how many shirts we order on the next one. And even though these will be in the vault, like we
Right.
can pull them out later for different usages.
Like a re-release.
Yeah, I want to do different shirts. I think the next run is going to say his piece, her home.
Mm-hmm.
So they have his and her shirts, kind of like she's my sweet potato, I am.
Yeah.
Like I want to do something cheesy like that because I enjoy cheesy, punny things like that.
Right.
So, and then I don't know what I'm going to do for the next one, but I do want to do 2 shirts per release. But that shirt specifically will be his and hers with a third shirt. So, and these shirts are comfortable. They're a dual blend, which is kind of nice.
I think we should do Love Is Not Enough.
I agree with that, but I don't know. I mean, we had to pull that in Discord. I would like that. I personally would wear the shit out of that because people would stop to ask me, what do I mean by that?
Right.
What does
What
that
does that
mean?
mean?
And then you get to have a conversation with them and you can open people's eyes or point them to the podcast. And that's dope. I like that.
Yeah. I'm just all the big brain tonight.
You're on your shit. It's sexy.
Oh, thank you.
Daz said, thank you. I'll follow your advice watching your check-in video with me. I asked him to make our list for things that are expected and unacceptable. And he asked where on the internet I got that from. I love that.
Yeah.
That expectation and your boundaries is fucking huge.
It is. And people can have different definitions of boundaries
Yeah.
or different definitions of certain words like cheating.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta define that shit. Just having the boundaries don't mean nothing if the words aren't defined.
Right.
And being very clear, what do you mean by that? I need you to elaborate. I need to understand you're engaging with curiosity instead of making demands or getting deflective. That's big. Andrea Brummer wrote, I'm not Christian, but I appreciate that your advice is universal and applicable to all. We're not Christians either. We're followers of Christ. And it's not my duty to do shit other than give you what I can give you. And if I can make your life better and love you at the same time, that's all that fucking matters to me.
It is not my job to cram the word down your throat. My job is to help you be a better human being.
There are people who believe that's their job. And I know that in some parts of the Bible it tells us to do that, but I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. So I'm not doing that. Everybody has a role to play. And I believe I'm playing my role the way that I'm supposed to be playing it.
Yeah.
And I love everyone and I want people to have a good life and I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen. And I'm damn sure not going to push my faith down somebody else's throat. That's why we don't talk about it the way that a lot of other creators do.
Right.
But I'm also not ashamed of it and I'm not going to cower from it either. So
Right. Like if it's brought up in discussion, we'll discuss it.
Yep.
But I'm not going to shun you because you don't have the same belief system I do.
I just want you to be a good person. That's
If
it,
you're
man.
happy and everything's watered and you're not hurting anybody,
Yep. Twitch 21 said, any advice on when someone says that they still care for you and want you in their life right after keeping score for weeks and saying that they no longer want to be in a relationship with you?
manipulation tactic.
It is definitely a manipulation tactic. I will repeat this until I'm fucking blue in the face. Actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say to me, but your actions are going to show me your true intentions. It's a lot harder to lie with your actions than it is with your mouth. And I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to hold you accountable to your actions. And if it's disrespect, you better fucking believe that response is going to be just as loud as that disrespect was. I don't play that game. If somebody tells you they don't want to be with you and they repeat that shit over and over and over again and then realize like, hey, wait a minute, maybe I'm fucking wrong. Ooh, you got some making up to do.
Oh, yeah.
And at the first sign of you reneging on that and playing that game, I'm out. I'm not playing that. You are not going to treat me like a fucking yo-yo. My name is not Duncan. We are not doing this. Not that guy. You guys, when you have your self-worth, you won't tolerate shit like that. You won't. When you know you're a badass and you're the most motherfucker that's ever motherfuckered, as they said earlier, I want that on a shirt because
Yeah.
I would wear that. You are not going to let somebody treat you like a yo-yo. You're not going to throw me away and drag me back at the flick of your wrist. We ain't doing that. No, sir. Teresa said, you both helped me with putting healthy boundaries with my mother. I sent her a video and she quit talking to me. Wow.
I mean, that kind of shows you where she stands.
Damn. Tell me why your butt hurt.
I'm
Sent a
glad she's
video and they
upset.
quit talking to me.
I'm glad she's upset. I mean, if we're cheering that she's not talking anymore, fuck yeah. But if you're hurt by it, I'm sorry you're hurt by it, but you're better off. Because we never say anything to damn people. We say things to bring a light to a subject and make you think about it in a different way. And if you're not willing to change your perspective on reality and your only perspective is the right perspective, and if somebody challenges it, you feel attacked.
Yeah. Tell me
thank you.
you're not willing to grow without telling me you're not willing to grow.
No, thank
Tell me
you.
you lack self-awareness without telling me tell me you lack self-accountability without telling me you lack self. I can do this all day.
I know, it's just sloppy. Like,
It is.
Not you.
I know. I was going to make a big old sloppy joke, but like a hot dog down a wet hallway sloppy joke, but we're not going to go there. Mariah said, played the podcast video playlist for my dogs when I went to work. He has learned boundaries now. I love y'all. It's because of your good boy video.
You know, I was genuinely like, I'm going to help dogs with doing this. And y'all are just filthy. Y'all are.
Yep. Sophia wrote, can a relationship heal after an affair? I am struggling with this right now. He still has the other woman in his life and won't budge, but
No.
says he's 100% in for healing our relationship.
Bullshit.
How does he
Bullshit.
have the woman in his life? Is he a coworker? Because like you can't control who your boss
You
hires
can get a
and
new
fires.
fucking job.
You can. You absolutely have a choice. You
That would be a
always have a choice.
stipulation. You want to make
Always
this
have a
work?
choice.
Quit your fucking job. Go find somewhere else.
Yeah.
You got 2 weeks.
Ooh, you fucking. You gave him a 2-week notice. Here's your pink slip. If you
Here
don't
is
follow
your
through.
2-week notice at the job. Start hitting the pavement.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
If you're serious, I don't play that game. If you think that you want to come back after an affair, after you've done that damage to somebody, and you're like, yeah, but I'm not removing them from my life, kick rocks.
Yeah, there's no way that you will ever be in a position to heal in the environment you got hurt in. Isn't that what you always say? Mm-hmm. See, I listen. I listen to you.
I know. I appreciate that. Makes me feel valued.
Space Lavender, I just want to say thank you guys for calling me out on my shit. My relationship has gained so much since watching you. I take notes every time. I love you both. We love you too.
Yeah, I'm glad that if we triggered you, I'm glad we did, because now you're reaping the benefits of doing that inner work.
Yeah. What does that say about the people who listen to us that actually get triggered and then dig down that deep?
That
Because
says a lot about the person.
It really
definitely.
fucking does, because you know how easy it is to be like, fuck these people, and then just turn it off and never listen to us again, instead of going, okay, why does that bother me so much?
Yeah.
Tell me you're ready to start healing without telling me you're ready to start healing.
I could tell that people already started their healing journey because they got triggered by us and then continued to listen.
That's big.
Then they email us in and go, I don't know what to do. How do I start this journey? You've already started it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing the work.
You are in the throes of it. It is about to become a hurricane and you're about to fucking go through it, but you're going to get those calm waters afterwards.
Yep.
Might be a little bit of damage control and billions and dollars of building back up, but you did it. Like
Yeah.
at this point, you're just rebuilding and recreating your foundation.
There really are some dope fucking people that follow us.
There are.
When you like, you know, when you really think about that, there are people out there who truly want to grow, and they're willing to put themselves in really shitty scenarios and really ugly situations to overcome what they're going through to become better. It's so easy to throw shade and blame and be the victim and play the victim card and just be like, everyone else is the problem. It can't possibly be me, blah, 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 blah.
I am more impressed by somebody who has a very small circle or no circle, who is going through the hard work and becoming a better human being, versus somebody who is flaunting what they have, has hundreds of friends, and is doing the thing. They're probably miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing worse than being alone in a group full of people.
Right.
There's nothing worse than, well, that's a lie. Being married and living with somebody and having your partner and still feeling alone, that's worse than being in a group of people. But that, you know, that was always a thing for me. And I know what that feels like. That's not a good scenario. And you're right. I would rather be around somebody that has no circle because they've cut off fucking everyone in their life to do the work on themselves, because those are the people I want to surround myself with.
Yeah, I would rather have peace.
Yep.
I am not going to be around somebody who's constantly giving me other people's information. You're divulging gossip, and I can't tell you I told you this, but
Right. Yep.
I didn't tell you this. This never happened. No, thank you. That's too much drama. I am not willing to sacrifice my peace anymore to have friends.
Agreed.
Oh,
Agreed.
what was that face?
Because he's fucking hitting question. But I that's important. I don't want to just skip over that. The maintaining your peace at all costs and removing toxic people from your life is no different than cutting bad meat off of a steak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you should be protecting yourself at all costs. And when you have people that come around you that disrupt that, whether you are religious or not, something's not fucking right. It could be the universe or the Holy Spirit, however you want to look at that. When you feel like this motherfucker's not right, you need to listen to that. That's not, it could just simply be a survival tech. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
What was that ivy that we saw growing all over Tennessee? You're like, it's the
Kudzu.
strain that kills the
kudzu.
South or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's the vine that kills the South. It's killing the South.
So when you allow a vine to grow over your garden, you can't see what's in that garden anymore. All you see is the green vine and the way that it's thriving off of everything going on the inside.
And it's fucking killing everything under it.
It's killing everything, but it's thriving.
Yep.
When you start cutting away that ivy and you're allowing that sun to grow on that garden, it's going to start to thrive again.
Yep.
And once you've completely removed the parasite, you're going to thrive.
And you want to really take that deep, that kudzu has to be pulled up at the root so much so that just setting it on fire and burning it is not enough.
Right.
You have to till the soil and kill that fucker at the root. And when you, that was a good analogy, and you can really look at that. And that's how it is. You got to cut motherfuckers completely out of your life to grow and thrive.
There's no blocking them on Facebook, but they have access to my Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to hit these last couple and then I think I'm done.
Okay.
Bell wrote, I would love, and I want you to answer this, not me. I would love to know how you guys stay so confident in yourselves and each other. How do you fight through any insecurity you get?
By acknowledging that my insecurity is not logical.
That's really hard to do in an emotional state.
It is. It really is. When you have an insecurity, for example, I don't like my thighs. I hate how my thighs look. I feel like I have wrinkly ball sacks for thighs. But if I constantly tell myself I have wrinkly ball sacks for thighs, I'm going to start to really hate my body because, okay, well, that's an imperfection. And now I hate my arms.
Right.
Because my arms look like my thighs. I don't hate my arms. I think my arms and my biceps are getting kind of in. And you can kind of see my tricep when I do the thing. When you have an insecurity like the thighs, you go, I mean, yeah, that's a thought. But instead, I'm gonna appreciate my body because I've lost over 140 pounds. And my thighs show that weight loss. It shows the discipline and dedication that I have to myself. And it shows my self-worth that I went through that. And I did that hard work to make my life as healthy as I can so I can be here for my kids and I can be here with a long life for you.
I'm going to answer this now. I wasn't going to, but I get a lot of my strength and the confidence in myself through you.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm capable of.
Right.
I do. And I know that if it comes down to it, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I got to do to succeed. But I still have moments of weakness. I'm fucking tired. I don't want to do this today. And you're like, come on, let's go. We're not doing that. We're going for a walk. Let's go. Like, you know, you've really been slacking in the gym. Come on, let's go. You're really not trying. You're just fucking going with emotions. What are you doing? Like, you hold me accountable to a level that I on days that I don't have the discipline to hold myself accountable, and that goes a long way. Knowing that I can lean on you when I really need to boost that strength in myself. So.
Yeah. Can I bring up something about working out? So you haven't worked out in like a week.
2
weeks. And you've had a lot going on. And instead of me going, you're not working out, you need to get back on your shit, I asked you this morning, so are you going to start working out again? That's a gentle nudge of, I've noticed you're out of routine and it's been longer than 1 week.
Yep.
That's a gentle reminder of, I notice you're out of whack. You kind of need to get back on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I trained back on Tuesday and I didn't make it yesterday or today because of the accountant.
Right.
And it's excuses. I could have done the workouts later in the day. I don't like working out at nighttime. I want to start my day with that, get it out of the way because it sets the tone for the whole fucking day.
Right.
So like tomorrow is Friday. I'm going to do arms tomorrow and then we'll do cardio and be back here before the bug guy gets here. And then Saturday we got some shit to do. But like I want to get back into that routine of waking up and training immediately and getting it out of the way and getting back on my supplement routine and dieting and doing all that shit because I genuinely feel better when I do it.
Right.
The problem is every time I start a routine, something fucks with that routine and I make excuses as to why I don't need to do it. I can put it off until next week. And eventually if I continue to do that over and over and over again, and you weren't here to be like, hey, it's going to be 2 years before I get back in the gym.
Right.
And I know that. Let's see. Got called out so much on this podcast, but I literally caught myself being defensive and started to reflect. Thank you. Def needed this. Lauren wrote, what do you enjoy the most about your relationship? What do you enjoy most about the relationship?
It's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's safe.
Safe. That, yeah. I wasn't going to say safe, but that's the skinny of it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about shit.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about being insecure around you. I'm not worried about being vulnerable. I'm not worried about crying. I'm not worried about being judged in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not worried about any of my shortcomings ever being thrown in my face or circulated around people we know. So there's safety is honestly the skinny of that. But yes.
Yeah.
Jason wrote, honestly, when I first listened to y'all, it did make me mad. But for some reason, I kept listening and it clicked that I was wrong. And it made me want to be better after knowing what I was doing was wrong. Kaylee wrote, this live really made me think about myself, made me cry. I'm going to have to watch this back later when I'm not at work so I can really dive into the work on myself more. That's awesome.
I'm sorry it made you cry.
I'm not.
I feel bad. I feel bad because that's an extreme emotion. To hear something and it triggers something in you and you cry and you don't understand why it's happening.
Yeah.
That's extreme.
It is.
And having to figure out why you're going through that, it's going to be painful. But once you have that light bulb moment of holy shit, I know why, there's going to be a whole new level of peace you feel.
Yeah. You're going to be so much stronger on the other side of that.
Yeah.
I love that. I fucking love that so much. We got somebody else that subscribed for early access. Braden Wadman said the best part of you guys is you always hit points that help others, that help no matter the topic. Mm-hmm. And Zeke wrote, Peaches could teach geometry with those straps.
Geometry with those?
I don't get it. I don't.
Geometry is math, right?
Yeah.
With shapes?
With those traps. I don't know.
Oh, with my traps.
Yeah, I understand what
right,
he means.
A trapezoid.
Oh, okay.
It's a shape.
There you go.
Geometry is shapes. But I'm pretty sure math is involved.
Yep. All right, let's see.
Thank you for noticing, Zeke.
AJ's typing. Let's see what he says. Chat's flooding to be a better nation. I guess that's them calling it.
All right, that's it.
Yep. So, guys, this was fun. We appreciate you all being here, and we're going to do it again next Saturday. Next Tuesday. If you are part of
Thursday.
What did I say? See you next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Intentional calling you a cunt. Didn't mean to do that. We are doing live streams for Patreon on Sunday. If you're a part of Patreon, it will be on YouTube with a link posted in Patreon and Discord, and it will not be like this. It will be much more Q&A, free-flowing, just us chilling.
Right.
Thursday night, we'll be doing another Love Language Live. What's that one? Oh, Big Yawn.
Next
it's a
one,
big yawn.
Next one is physical touch.
Okay. That's a good one for me, too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to gift giving.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna originally rip that apart and just shit on everyone who wants to accept gifts and call you all kinds of names, and then I had my whole world flipped upside down by that book. So
yeah.
So next week, Thursday's physical touch, Sunday's Patreon live stream. We have a side piece dropping tomorrow, and then
There's so much.
Monday is you know what? I don't think that I dropped the side piece today on the podcast.
Oh no.
Drop the ball.
Slacker.
That's all right. I'll make it go live tomorrow with everyone else. I should probably move it to Monday and Friday. That way people aren't listening ahead of time.
That's smart.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
My tailbone hurts.
Oh my God. Everything.